Hello, Internet. Welcome back to Survivors Complex. We're sad to be back once again for episode 25. Been playing for a quarter of a century. Yeah, that's how that works.
That's not how this works.
We'll go ahead and get started.
How any of this works.
We'll go ahead and.
I need more fingers.
We will go ahead and get started here in a second. A couple of announcements for anyone keeping up with other YPG news. Sorry last week that we had to cancel Wonderworld. We're going to work out to reschedule it, hopefully sometime soon, or give an extra episode one of these upcoming months. Real life got in the way. Work's been just bonkers. So apologize again for that. We do have the next episode of Wild Space on Monday. So that's coming up. Super exciting there. Excited to see where all that goes. Otherwise, more of the same. So keep tuned in for other news. We are, as you might have noticed, missing a couple people today. Dylan and Kyle could not make it for separate reasons, or they're hanging out together. I don't know. But we miss both of them, and hopefully they don't miss out on too much loot. Though they will miss out on most of it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in with the recap. So coming back to Sarthia, the last time we all met, your group had made its final push through the Relaani archives, seeking to find the lost treasure of Ferora's people, Ferora being Sadil's wife. My phone just went off. I am so sorry. That's so unprofessional of me.
You're fired.
I know.
I'm the DM now. Everybody ready?
Made your final push through the archives. Make your way out of the blizzard and snow covered lands and into the ethereal tavern within that seemed to be a reflection of a tavern called the Buxom Boar in the city of Shia. You had a chance to rest and pushed forward into another strange dimension, a island seeming to be floating through the astral sea, lorded over by some junk hoarding tentacled creature that demanded some sort of tribute for passage. Your companion Lilibet gave up her fancy elf boots in order to allow you all to pass through into to whatever might be beyond. It was there that after falling or traveling through another portal through a carpet, you crashed down into seemingly back in the archives, not too far from where you left before, just on the other side of whatever blockage there had been in that hallway. You quickly saw that this area was also distorted. Those seemed to be on the material plane, and you found that this section of the archives had been sort of morphed and twisted into a labyrinthian section of hallways, and you encountered a series of doors that were locked and puzzled through different means, which all bared like alchemical symbols on them. And you were sort of spurred along in this puzzle-solving adventure by a rather pissed-off-looking Garistro that was angry at you for some reason, as demons tend to do. You were able to avoid the creature and push finally to what you hoped was the treasure room. And upon making it inside of this room, you found it empty. However, as all of you stepped in, a trap was triggered, and you found the room began to attack you, and a series of traps were set off, culminating in the ceiling of the room coming down with spikes to crush you in a very cliched way. You were able to disarm the trap by destroying the statues, However, after the trap was released, the sort of cleaning mechanism of the floor opening up to leave dispose of the bodies down below, you all fell. Lucius saved all but himself and Didar, as he and the Plesiosaurus crashed down below, taking a large amount of damage from that. But you found yourselves in in a cell that looks long broken and decayed away, then opened up into a hallway, at which there were two more doors, one on either end. A set of metal doors on one end, and another blood seal door on to your opposite side. You approach the door, not sure what you might find beyond, and upon Ferora opening it, you saw the glistening lights reflecting off of gleaming piles of gold and treasure and all of the riches that you had hoped to find. And that's where we pick up our session here today, with your group, with Ferora first stepping into the room and sort of standing there slack-jawed, staring at the piles of treasure. You see smaller piles of gold and coins like you'd expect scattered around, not just mountains of it, but most of the treasures seem to be small statues, paintings, bits and pieces of elven culture and history, and the valuable pieces of art and historical significance, all sort of hidden in this room. You see a number of other objects too, which catch your attention. There are scattered around some gems. There are you see an ornate-looking rapier sitting on a pedestal. You see a few other bits and pieces, and a rather ornate-looking mirror leaning up against the wall and on the far side too. But the whole room just gives this. You all find yourself sort of mesmerized by the treasure in this room upon first glance.
So, where do we start?
Whoa.
Aura just sort of echoes and says, "Whoa."
We're a group of many words, guys. But, Flora, you were kidding. There's a lot of stuff in here.
She smiles and she looks to Sadel, and the two of them smile at each other, and she rushes over and gives him a big hug. The two of them sort of embrace there for a moment. You see she has like tears whelming in her eyes, and Sadel does sort of too at this point, as they this culmination of the journey that they had been on for some time now finally comes to pass. And as they release their embrace, she just shakes her head and she looks back towards everyone. She says, I don't even know what to say. You're welcome to anything you need here. If we can, as long as we have enough here to buy back the shop, anything that's left is yours.
Also,
and the dragons.
Yeah, just making sure we all remember.
Yeah, which we should move quickly. It's already been over a full day at this point. But I think we have a little bit of time.
Even think about the dragon, we should also perhaps work out how we're getting out of here. We've fallen a long way, and I doubt we'll find another door down here.
There is another door down here.
Oh, what's that?
Wait, I didn't dream that door, right? There's another door at the other end of the hall.
You look at the point to the other end of the hall, and
okay.
There's a big set of double.
My bad. I had completely forgotten about that then.
Whoops.
Yeah, you haven't been there yet. But
it's that 18 passive perception.
Metal doors back at the other end of the hall.
So Lil wants to help Fiora and Sadel shovel as much money and stuff into the bag of holding that hopefully will cover the buying back of the shop. And then if I see any like diamond gems, I want to just like, hey, Den, and chuck them to Den for revivify spells. That's what I would like to do right now.
So here's what sort of is happening at this point. You begin to put the gems and the art pieces and stuff. I mean, there are statuettes, war masks, robes with like gold embroidery and other pieces of value that are spread around. And Ferora, well, for the sake of this, we'll say Ferora, Lucius, and Sato begin to gather that and get that into the bag of holding as much as they can. But that's going to take probably a couple hours to get everything. So while that's happening, there are a number of other items scattered around the room. Some more notable items. So you find some gems. They're actually scattered among there. You find 3 diamonds amongst all of the treasure. Each one probably worth about 1,000 gold pieces.
3 saved lives. Anyway, sorry.
We already have 2.
We got 5 now.
Got 5
Woohoo! 1 for everybody.
Yeah.
We've got 5 1-ups.
You also find in a small box, Sadel finds it, sort of tosses it over. I don't know if anyone else can use this. It's important to anybody. And it's a small box just for holding this item inside. And inside is a beautiful, perfect, probably golf ball sized black pearl. This thing is, I mean, it is just a sight to behold. I'll say again, given the appraisal given by the group as a whole, probably worth about 5,000 gold pieces.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
So who as Sadel's kind of tossing the box over to somebody, who is it that takes it and is inspecting it?
I guess it would be me. I have the best dexterity out of everyone, so
Okay.
I personally try and catch it, and I'm just like
Okay, so you take it and you're pulling out of the box to sort of like inspect it, I guess, and sort of look at the light. Okay, I need the other 2 of you to mute yourselves for a moment, or to take off your headsets. Okay, as soon as you hold the pearl in your hand, a strange sensation washes over you. You aren't sure why at this moment, but you don't want to give this thing up. Like you cannot let go of this pearl. You have to hold on to it. You keep it in your pocket, like you don't have to hold it in your hand, but you're not willing to give it to anybody else.
Right.
You also are currently, I'll just tell you, you're also currently cursed, and you have disadvantage on all dexterity saving throws and acrobatics checks, as long as you're holding to this item.
Okay.
So, yeah, enjoy that. Headsets go back on.
I just put the black pearl straight in my pocket.
Of course you do. That's about right.
I don't question this.
Neither do I. I've seen him do this far too many times.
Okay. But those are all like the gems you have. Like I said, I'll kind of go through some of this. You can't even count the gold and stuff right now. It would take you a lot of time to do that. But there's like about half a dozen of these ivory carved statuettes of everything seems to be of elven make, so I won't just keep repeating that. There are some golden war masks. There's a set of them. The statuettes are probably worth about 250 gold pieces each. Don't write this down because I'll make a list later on and give it to you guys.
Can I take one of the masks and like hold it up over my face, see if I look scary?
Sure you can. Make a wisdom saving. I'm just kidding. It's fine. Yeah, you put it on and you turn into the mask and begin to...
Excellent. All my plans are coming together.
Do a Jim Carrey impersonation.
And beat everyone with the flail.
Yeah. The masks together are probably worth about 750 gold pieces each. Separate, probably about 100.
But do I look cool?
It does look pretty cool.
Always.
Yeah, it's like a gold. It's actually a pretty simple design. It's like of an elven face, but with some sort of tribal markings and tattoos and stuff carved in it all around. It's pretty cool.
Okay, take it off.
There are 3 of the silk robes with gold embroidery, each one worth about 250 gold pieces. And then there's assorted tapestries, goblets, platters, paintings, other things worth about 2,000 gold pieces total. So all that's getting put in the bag, as well as the gold and platinum that is also being found. But there are a couple other items around the room that you're able to pick up just for the sake of brevity and keeping this moving along. And you sort of gather all this together. So there's a ring that is found amongst all the items. That it's a rather simple band with what looks to be a set of like scales carved into them, essentially like weighing scales, scales of judgment that are carved into the design or set into the design. There's also a belt that looks like it has the face of a dwarf on it. There's a wand that's actually the craziest looking wand you've ever seen. It's a gold wand with a number of little like spinning bits around it, like with gemstones set in, and it looks like a wand like kids would use almost, like little bits and doohickeys and stuff spinning and turning and all that. And it's pretty amazing to look at. There's a breastplate amongst it with a house like insignia on it. There's another box that has a stone in it. That is, I don't have the color, but it's a rather beautiful little like a crystal gemstone that is a pale blue, like rhombid shape. You also see there's the rapier that you pick up, which is very, it's like a silver rapier with the pommel itself, or the guard of it is shaped like a cobra, kind of around to the back. Has like a snake design, like biting its own body. And then there is a spell scroll, which Sato points out to you. And then there's that beautiful mirror. And it's about like 3 feet by 2 feet by 3 feet mirror on the other side with this gold trim and filigree around it.
I can take the time to just try and identify what I can.
Yeah, and Sato will help too. So what would you guys like to know of first? What sparks your interest out of this?
The ring.
The ring. Okay. The ring, Sato looks it over, sort of inspecting it. He'll do this one, you'll do the next one, Star. Concentrates the pearl in one hand, and as he finishes the spell, he hands it back to you. He says, I've never seen anything like this before. This is a ring of karmic balance. It requires to be attuned by a creature that is swayed one way or another. But it essentially grants protection against those that oppose your own core. And basically he explains, it requires attunement by a creature of non-neutral alignment. If you are good aligned, you gain resistance to necrotic damage. If you're evil aligned, you gain resistance to radiant damage. And you gain a bonus to your armor class based on the alignment of the attacking creature. For each part of the creature's alignment that is opposed to yours, you get a +1 AC. So if you're lawful good and fighting a chaotic evil creature, you get a +2 to AC. And vice versa.
Gosh darn. Wow.
You can attune to this as long as you have as one of your alignment parts is not neutral, which I think precludes one member of your party. But yeah, so you have that. Do you want to go through the rest of these before you start dipping up? Okay.
Belt, please.
The belt. Okay, so Star, you identified this one. This is a belt of dwarven kind.
Never would have guessed.
Pretty easy. You don't even really need to cast a spell. You're like, fine.
I don't have identified a spell.
Oh.
I'd have to make Arcana checks for the most part, actually.
Okay, it's still fine anyway.
I was actually going to say, just to balance it out, so I'm not rolling a million times, kind of just sort of take a 20 on everything, like take me longer to identify things. But
yeah, I won't make you roll because you have someone with identify spell there. That even if you couldn't figure out what it was, somebody else could figure out what it was. So basically, you're just you're going first dibs on it. If you can't figure it out, you're just handing it to Sadel, and Sadel is
fair enough
taking care of it. So you've got a belt of dwarven kind. There's also, and you guys probably want to write at least the names of these things down so you guys can decide what it is. Hand out the rest of the list later. The wand is a wand of wonder, which is a rather chaotic little doohickey. Requires attunement by a spellcaster, has 7 charges. You point the wand at a creature within 100 feet, use a charge, and it does something. What it does depends on what I roll. Roll D100 on a table, and something happens. And it could get really funny.
That's amazing.
It was a wand of what?
Wand of wonder.
Wonder.
Because you always are wondering what it's going to do next.
Yeah. And yeah, it has each one, it has the same spell DC. There's other things to it, but I don't need to give you all that. I'm not going to give you all that. Basically, it's a wand, 7 charges, you point it, it does something. So, yeah. So that one, and you get the idea. Again, lots of things could happen. There is the stone that you identify is an ion stone. It's a magical stone that you can actually as you attune to it, it'll rotate in your general vicinity. This is an ion stone of strength. Grants a +2 bonus to strength, up to 20. There is a spell scroll, which is a scroll that has the spell Forbiddance cast upon it, which I don't think anybody actually has the ability to cast in this group, but it's a rather powerful spell. And then 2 other items which are sort of unique, which you have the sword, the rapier. It's a +2 Sword of the Snake. It's a rapier that also functions as a whip. After you attune to it, essentially you can make attacks as if it was a rapier, but it has a magical enchantment that, at will, you can make an attack with it. The blade sort of extends like a snake's tail, and you can use it to whip out at a nearby creature. So it functions as a normal rapier, also functions as a normal whip, and you have proficiency with this weapon as long as you're proficient with either rapiers or whips. Yes.
It's a scroll of Forbiddance.
Forbiddance.
If my app is correct, that's a cleric spell.
Is it a cleric spell? Okay. Is that a spell that you can cast of a level you can cast yet?
It's a 6th level spell.
Yeah. So not a spell you can cast yet, but it is a spell that a spell scroll you could use.
I had to look it up. I've never even heard of this spell.
Yeah. So the +2 Sword of the Snake, and then there is another. The armor is it's a breastplate, and Saddle actually identifies this one because there's a bit of a story behind it too, and he gets images of an elven warrior named Sir Erwin Plot. And you see this elven man had a sort of affinity to the fates and the balances of the universe, and was gifted with both incredible luck and just unfortunate curses at the same time. So this is Sir Plot's armor. And once per day, if you are wearing an attune to this armor, it's a +1 breastplate. You can choose to have an attack that would hit you, miss instead. You can use this effect after you know whether the attack hits or misses, but before damage is rolled. Alternatively, you regain the use of this ability after an enemy damages you with a critical hit. There's also a curse with this item that Sato will point out to you. Your connection with fate also leaves you vulnerable to ill luck. When you roll a natural 1 on an attack roll, you fall prone.
Lil should take this armor because she can't roll a 1 on an attack roll.
It would be, well, you could roll a 1 on an attack roll. It's more difficult for you to roll a 1 on an attack roll.
Yeah, true. Because I can re-roll it.
Yeah.
Halfling's luck, but
halfling luck could make that a bit easier.
Okay. What about the mirror? Is that the last thing?
The mirror is the last thing. So a couple of things happen here. I'll say, Star, you probably go over and you look at the mirror. So before you are able to identify it, you do notice something a little bit odd as you walk up to this mirror. And like I said, it's a rather ornate, like gold filigree mirror with what looks to be a golden skull set into the top of it near its apex. And as you stand next to it and you begin to inspect it, there's a brief moment where, as you kind of look around to the side, there's like a reflection or distortion, and you see like the reflection of someone in the mirror that you don't recognize, and an elven man just flashes for a moment, and then you don't see it anymore, and you look back and there's no one behind you. I'll say you go ahead and, well, for this one, I'll actually have you make the Arcana check to see how quickly you figure out what this is.
15.
Okay, fair enough. You step back from this after looking it over and kind of getting an idea of the magical item, the essence. You've heard of something like this before. You don't know the exact mechanics of it, but this might be a mirror of life trapping. The gist of it is, you know that a mirror that can be used to imprison creatures.
I am just gonna say to everyone, for now, just don't look into this. If there's any piece of cloth or half-rotted tapestry that isn't worth much, I am just wrapping the mirror in that, then it's going in my bag.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you can take that. I don't think it'll fit in your bag.
No.
It's a 4-foot tall mirror.
To the bag of holding, then. If it'll fit in there with all the gold that's just being shoveled in.
That's tough. I'm gonna say it probably doesn't fit in there either. This is probably the largest item in the room.
Or we could give it to the dragon.
Could we use it on the dragon? Like, shine it at it and figure out how you make it and trap the dragon in it?
If Sadel can work out how it works, then... sure.
Somebody say my name. You need me to identify something?
Mirror of life trapping. Can you work out how it does its life trapping?
I can. Okay. And he walks over and casts a spell. And after he does, he steps back and he says, "Oh, all right. Yeah, you're right about that. And it is a mirror of life trapping. So there are 12 cells, extra-dimensional pocket planes that are attached to this thing, and if you speak a command word while a creature is looking into it, it could become trapped inside of it if its force of personality is low enough. But it looks mostly empty from what I'm identifying. There does seem to be one person in there.
I saw what looked like a reflection of an elven man while I was looking at it. I assume that would be them.
Yes.
Was I able to tell what kind of elf it was I saw? Was it sort of black and white, ghostly, ethereal? Not quite there.
Yeah. If you were to guess what type of elf or what subrace of elf this would be, you probably would have said it was a high elf. Just on the first glance that you got.
Okay, I'll point that out as well.
Sal says, we can be careful, but we can also speak another separate command word. Well, you can speak one to let them out, or we can speak one, the name of the cell the number of the cell that they're in, and talk to them through the glass, if we wanted to know who they were. Also, if we break it, everything comes out.
Well, I mean, I don't know how. That dragon's got a lot of personality. It's a personality I don't like, but do you think we could use it?
Dragon's probably weaker for the time it's been trapped.
I will say, considering it's been identified, it's a DC 15 charisma saving throw. Just if that helps you.
Sure, a dragon would fail that.
Yeah, and it has to see its reflection in the mirror and be within 30 feet of it.
It doesn't work on vampires.
No. So you know the person in there is not a vampire.
It's not Julius Hound.
Well, it can't be him. I killed him.
Yeah, I did kind of see his head explode
Should we talk to him? Not Hound, guy in the mirror.
Yeah, we can do, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I just want to look at the man in the mirror.
Saddle, do you know what the command words are?
I do. And he tells you the command word. You guys can decide what you want the command words to be for this mirror, but there are two command words. One is to trap a creature, another one is to release it, and then actually you don't need a command word to kind of rotate through the cells. You just need to speak the number or the name of the creature. But Saddle tells you, I think he's in the cell.
If you want to carry on sorting out the gold, I suppose you should go to... I can speak Elven, so if that's the only language they speak, I can communicate with them at least.
He says, well, fair enough. I'll be over here if you need anything else, and goes back to his sorting of the gold.
Well, while they're all doing that, I'm gonna go prop the mirror up against the wall and just say out loud 5.
Okay. As you say that, or the others are Lil and Dan, you guys are there too, I assume. Okay. You speak the name. There's sort of the the skull on top of at the top of the mirror sort of flashes for a bit or pulses with a little bit of energy, and you see there's sort of this roulette effect as another thing's like flash past the mirror as if you're looking out a window of a moving train, and suddenly stops. And there you see just a white void in every direction, just this endless space. And sitting there on the ground, just right as if you were looking out a window at somebody about 5 feet away, you see an elven man wearing black leather or black leathers and a cloak, kind of with the cloak pulled up around him, and just sitting, looking at the ground. And then you hear a raspy voice call, says, "What do you want this time? Wait," as he looks up and sees all of you. Speaking Elven right now, by the way. Who are all of you?
We're the ones who have come across this mirror. We're trying to determine who may be stuck in there, why, and if anything else may be done about it.
He stands up, and you can see he's a particularly sort of nasty-looking elf. He's got some scars across his face. Looks like he's had a pretty rough life. And he walks a bit closer to the mirror until he's standing essentially right in front of you. Gives a really keen look at you, Star, and says, "What's one of the Verifel slaves doing here?"
Well, I decided to do some traveling, see the world a bit, betray my elders and whoever the others are who set up their weird bizarre plot so I could live my own life. You know, the usual.
Where are the guards? What? How did you get in here?
There weren't any guards as such. I don't know how long you've been trapped, but this is an ancient vault made to contain riches, treasures.
He just begins to laugh, kind of doubles over for a second, stands up and rubs his eyes, says, those nut jobs did it, didn't they? Well, serves them right. So, seeing as none of you hold anything against me, I guess you can just let me out, right?
I'd prefer to know the story of why you were put in there. And do you speak the common tongue as well? I'd prefer it if my friends knew what you were saying as well.
I'm speaking the common tongue.
Oh, you really have been trapped in there a while.
What tongue do you speak of?
I just said a few words in common.
Star, what's he saying?
So, he laughs again. So the slave's tongue became the common tongue.
Apparently so.
He coughs and speaks to you in common. He says, "It's been a while since I've spoken it, but I do know few words in this common you speak of."
So what's your name?
Rishkar Aldrich, Master Thief.
You look the part.
Thank you.
I'm Lil.
Good to know you, Lil. He says, so you want to know why I'm here? Well, it's a simple story. Stole something. Wasn't supposed to take. Got sold out. They locked me up here.
Can I turn around and say,
Fiore, do you recognize this guy?
Fiore looks back and kind of walks over up to the mirror. The elf man gives a grin as she approaches. She ignores, and she looks him over. No, I don't. I've never seen any depictions of this man in anything that I've read before.
Okay, cool.
What did he say his name was again?
Rishkar Aldrich.
No, never heard of it. Guess he's a nobody. And she turns and walks back to the other side of the room, and he sort of snarls a bit at that.
Rishkar, who put you in there? Who'd you steal from? Was it a dragon?
He says, or he laughs, says, no dragons, but their greed rivaled such. No, I stole from, and I'm just like frantically going through my notes here. Oh my god, I just lost the Word document. There we go. I stole from the Verifel bloodline, as I mentioned before. Bunch of dicks locked me up here.
So by any chance do they have plans, at least when you were locked up, to move to the Twilight Realms?
He smiles and looks over you and says, interesting. So that's public knowledge now.
Not quite public, but it's what we found after some digging.
It's related to what I stole. I suppose it doesn't matter now. I mean, might as well be honest with each other. I stole the passcodes, you could say, to the arcane warding of Ilrash Talar. Sold them to, to some zealots. Didn't do business with them normally, but they're paying good money. Called themselves the Sect of Ruin. I assume by your expressions you haven't heard of them. Good. Means that they're not still around, means that they probably failed. Doom cult looking to carry out the work of the gods, destroying the arcane, freeing the 6 from their imprisonment, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of nut jobs.
Rishkar, what year was it when they put you in the mirror? Do you remember?
Would have been the 1420 of Salrich.
Alright. You might want to sit down.
Which is a year, or a calendar, or the year he
I
said.
don't know what that is.
Yeah.
1420 of... What?
How long have these archives been here? Or how long has this place been here? You said this is an ancient ruin. 400
It's
years.
2352?
Ferrora sort of calls over. She says, it's been about 4,000 years since they've been, these ruins have been lost. Might want to tell him that.
4,000 years.
Uh,
Also, people have been looking for this.
he again sort of gives a confused look and then just begins to laugh. And as he stops laughing, he says, well, I suppose no one's alive anymore that wants me dead, so that's good. So, like I said, let me out of here, right?
Are you sure you want to be let out into a world you know nothing about?
Better than spending an eternity in here. I'm not learning any more about it by staying in here.
Follow-up question. It's been like 4,000 years. If we let you out, are you just gonna turn to dust?
No, I don't think so. Still, better than spending an eternity in here.
Fair enough.
I'm cool with it if you guys are.
He does look over to you, Star. He says, you mentioned their plans to, the Varafell's plans to leave into the Twilight Realm, as they named it. Did they succeed?
Apparently so.
And they built their City of Light, as they called it.
I'd assume so. And now my people are being, well, kidnapped to be used as bodyguards.
Interesting. Well, you let me out. I might have some knowledge that I could help you with.
And then what?
Go our separate ways.
I will point out first, on our way out of here, we have got a rather large and unhappy dragon to negotiate with for a portion of this treasure. We can definitely arrange to keep the mirror, but if you're out, it may complicate matters slightly.
Well, whatever you think is best, I guess, as long as you let me out soon.
You have my word you'll be let out into the mirror, into the big white world to do whatever you want.
Okay, wait. Just a minute. If we let you out, you just gonna, like, go off and build a cabin in the woods and live happily ever after? What are you gonna do? Are you...
As I said, I have a rather specific skill set. I'm sure that there are still people in this world that make a living doing what I've done.
Stealing?
Sure.
I inside check him.
Yeah.
This guy.
What are you trying to glean?
I don't know. I want to know if he has ulterior motives or if he's maybe lying about being a thief. Maybe he's something else. Maybe he's like an assassin or something. I don't know. I want to see if he's telling me the truth. If he's really just gonna like go and join a thieves guild and live a normal life.
Okay.
21?
21. Yeah, you I mean, you get a pretty good read of him. he does seem to have ulterior motives. I mean, there's nothing like he's deliberately lied to you about, or it doesn't seem like he's deliberately withholding it with anything. He probably has more information that he's not sharing. It's more like, I don't know. I mean, he's shifty, I guess is the best way to say it.
Imagine if Star was actually chaotic neutral instead.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not telling you everything. He probably has a plan for what he wants to do, or isn't talking about the specifics of it, but he doesn't seem like he's lying about what he does.
It's a useful skill set.
And one that without him in the world will be practiced and used non-stop. At least if he's good at what he does, people definitely won't get hurt.
Well, no more than already have.
All right.
Well, let's get to the dragon and because we're not quite sure how to get out of here yet. So it's probably best to chill in the mirror, and then we'll let you out later.
But if this dragon kills you, then I'm just stuck in here.
Sucks
And
for you.
Hope he breaks the mirror, because then you'll get out.
If the dragon starts attacking, the first thing I'll do is break the mirror and point you towards the door. If you're good at what you do, you should be able to make the run.
All right. Get on with it then.
I quickly, using Thieves' Cant, just try and sort of quickly sign to him, are you after revenge?
Okay. So how are you, so are you using like sign language, or are you like, because it takes a little while to convey anything, and Thieves can't think that
It does.
Yeah.
I think what I'll actually do is start out the pretense of having a quick conversation with him in Elven, then go into the Thieves' Cant, double talk, sign language, etc., etc.
Okay. So yeah, you start speaking to him in Elven and convey that message, and he
just as quick as I can sort of get back to him. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
The hell was that?
Just trying to get more of his story. I don't know if any of it was true. Something about being born and then left at an orphanage where he was adopted and left again, and there was a strange twist somewhere about being adopted by a dragon and a vampire who wanted to be a couple.
He just nodded. He didn't even say anything.
Not even gonna have you make a deception check, because that was just a bad lie.
I know, right? I just need to know something about who or what has been controlling my people, and it isn't good.
Okay, but I don't know why all of a sudden you're being all shifty.
I've dealt with people like him before. They bring out the worst in me.
Do you want me to carry the mirror?
That's probably for the best.
You are the strongest.
Okay. So you all gather up your belongings. Nobody's attuning to anything yet. You're just putting everything in the bag that you can. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. You actually fill up the bag of holding, and then have to fill up all of your own personal bags with as much as possible. And I'll say,
we not have 2 bags of holding?
Do you have 2 bags of
Does
holding?
We had
Star not
planned-
also have a bag of
We
holding?
had plans to make a second one, but it never actually happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about it.
No, you only have 1 at this point, and yeah, you're all pretty much going upstairs like arms loaded. Everybody just filled to the brim with as much as they can carry, and your entire party is moving at half speed right now.
One quick thing.
Okay.
We need to decide if we're gonna be given a choice, what we're gonna give to the dragon.
Well, there's a portion of the gold that's without a doubt. I suppose we should try and keep our promise to our friend there and keep our hands on the mirror. I can't see why the dragon would want it.
Well, I mean, the dragon wasn't nice. The dragon was kind of a dick.
Well, he's like starving
So-
to death and trapped in a cave for like thousands of years, so you would be
That's
too.
true. I don't know. I'd be nicer to people who may be able to help me, but that's just me. So, I mean, what's he gonna do with all this gold? Is he gonna get out of the cave too? Like, isn't he trapped in the cave?
Yeah, we're gonna let him out.
I didn't realize that. Okay. Well,
So he's gonna go home. Back to all his dragon shinies.
okay. I don't know. I don't think he deserves any of it, but that's just me.
Well, if we don't give it to him, he's probably gonna eat all of us and take all of it, so... I don't really want to get eaten by a dragon.
Yeah.
And I
guess.
mean... He's kind of mean, but... also a dragon. And... I mean, we're pretty powerful, but... next time, if there's a next time we encounter something awful, like Julius Hound, it might be good to be like, oh, we have a dragon friend who likes us
True.
Very.
and might eat
very
people
true.
that are dangerous, that we don't like.
True. True. Okay. Well,
I just don't want to give him the stuff that we really want. Is that terrible?
yeah, no, it's not terrible, and I'm in agreement. I mean, I want to make sure that. Okay. Does anybody have any idea how much money we just got? Because, like, I want to make sure that Sidel and can reopen the shop. And that was, what, 50,000 gold? So, I mean, I'm happy with if we give him everything else except the stuff that we really want and 50,000 gold. I'm okay with that, but I just don't know how much money we got.
Look over to Sadel and Ferrari. I assume they try to count.
It's a lot. More enough that we need, I think, but it's gonna be hard to know until we get somewhere we can properly weigh and count and appraise everything.
Well, this is gonna sound weird coming from me, but like, maybe we just talk to the dragon and we're like, hey, this is the shit you're dealing with. This is the shit we're dealing with. Let's just be fair. Everybody get what they need. Let's just all go home.
Could work.
I really don't want to get eaten by a dragon.
No, I don't think anybody does.
I will fight, like, almost anything. This is probably not the time.
Okay, well,
Then, have you got a fever?
No, I'm just really tired of being in this cave. I really just want to be outside again.
yeah, well, let's go then. We'll figure it out. We'll make it up as we go, like we always do.
I don't like being underground.
Okay. So you load up everything you can and make your way back towards out to the hall. You have the cage where you came through with the pit leading up that's now closed. And then you have the big steel doors on the other side.
To the steel doors.
Maybe
Feed the
this
steel
is,
doors.
maybe this is like a back exit. Like the door is barred from the other side at the beginning. We can only get out through this side. Just take us
Yeah.
right to the front.
I've heard
be
tales of the land very far to the north where that's always the case.
Yes. So you go over to the double doors on the far side, pull them open. All right, you wedge them open. They're sort of rusted a bit. Using your party's copious amount of strength, you pull the doors open, and you see what is essentially a dead end, a 20 by 20 foot square room with no ceiling. And as you look up, you see it goes up and up and up, and probably about 60 or so feet above you, you can see some sort of metallic object wedged about halfway up the shaft. You see the bottom of the elevator that you fell down through.
Lucius, can you do your boots thing where you go into the ethereal plane quickly?
Did he? No, he hasn't used that since.
Since the fountain.
Lucius says, I could try to do that. I can only move so far.
I just need to know if there are still those walls you saw around here.
Oh, all right, I'll just use it for that. I'm not saying that I only have a limited amount of uses of it, but fine, I'll just use it to see. And he clicks his boots and sort of shimmers away for a moment. And as he reappears, he says, yep, still there.
Well, this is a conundrum.
He does say, I do have this ring now. I could try to pull it the rest of the way down. And then we could climb up.
Some of us can fly.
I could cast fly on a few people.
Can we fly with all this extra weight?
Slowly.
We'll make a few trips.
Okay. If you cast fly, though, Lucius, you can't get hit with anything.
I'm aware of that. I know how the spell works.
You know, it just seems to happen.
A lot.
You know, maybe I'll just stop then. Nobody gets to fly. I'll just leave on my own.
I can still fly without you.
I can climb perfectly fine. I've never really needed to fly.
And after I saved all of your lives, falling down, fine.
Well, this is what happens when you throw a tantrum. About your boots.
Are you ready for me to try to pull the thing down?
Yeah, let's get out of the...
We're good?
Yeah, we back up.
Sort of like Captain Planet holding up the ring and kind of pointing in that direction. You kind of hear a king for a second, and then he rushes back, and you just hear this as the elevator slams into the bottom portion, and there's just a cloud of dust and debris that fills the space for a few minutes. And as the smoke clears, you all find yourself coughing. You can see the broken and crushed remains of the elevator, and then probably about a 5-foot gap, and then up. So I guess Lucius will cast. We'll probably have to use both his spell slots and just make 2 trips casting fly on people. Except
About
for yeah.
How tall could we estimate the elevator shaft is?
It's hard to say because you fell halfway, but if it's the same distance up, probably about 120 feet.
I can climb that fairly quickly, so I can just strap bags to myself and go.
Okay. So you can climb, Den can fly. Lucius can cast fly on... let me double check the spell slot level. So it's as a 4th level spell. Unless he has access to 5th level spells now, about no, because he doesn't have on the sheet. That'll be... So you can cast it on 2 people. For the sake of brevity, you guys get everybody out of the shaft.
I We could fly people up.
Fly people. Yeah, you're probably able to carry Lil up, which saves some spell slots, and you can carry a couple people up. The biggest challenge is Didar, but casting fly on Didar helps.
Flying Didar.
Actually, what we could do is we cast fly on Didar, load a lot of the treasure
and
on Didar.
We just send
and
him
turn
up.
Didar into an elevator.
The cutest elevator.
Or, I'm sorry, I should use the word lift once, since we have a multicultural. He turned Didar into a lift, and he
a plesio lift.
Yeah. And carries a substantial amount of the treasure up. Actually, Didar alone could probably just carry a bunch of people. Didar and Den could carry the rest of the people up, and then so one after another, you all make it back to the chamber that you were in previously, where you attacked by all the furniture.
Is any of the furniture moving?
No, it's all still broken.
Are there any more twitching tassels on the floor?
Make a perception check.
13.
You see one of the carpet tassels twitching, and you get really excited as you walk over, and there's just a bug in it. It sort of scurries off as you get close.
I kick one of the carpets.
But like a true cat, you probably chase the bug around for a bit too.
A little bit, yeah. We're just there trying to pounce on the bug.
And as it goes up the wall, it just...
No, I climb up the wall after it.
Just matching our cats as D&D characters. But you all make it back to the door where you came in after meeting Ashran. Sort of steadying yourself, push open the door, and as you enter, you can hear kind of the heavy breathing of the dragon, still kind of curled up near the other entrance, the claw holding the door still, and just the head turns back in your direction as you enter, and the eyes widen a bit. You returned. I did not think you would make it back.
It was a walk in the park if the park was filled with elemental traps and magic.
Faster than I anticipated. All right, then. And the dragon begins to shift. And the dragon form actually shrinks down into what appears to be an old elven man with a like bushy white beard and long white hair, kind of curled and draped down his back. Good. So we can leave now.
We can.
All right, this way. Points to the door, which he's still standing there, before it closes. And I get trapped here for another 4,000 years, and I'm forced to eat all of you.
Do you want some food?
I fear that you probably don't carry enough on you to do the trick at this point.
All right.
I would like to get out of here
go.
very badly. And you all come walking through the room and to the entry chamber before he steps away from the door as you all enter and looks back. And it doesn't close, and he says, "Better be safe than sorry." And he reaches up and pulls the lever, and you all fall through a trapdoor. Lever! The door swings shut, and the other one swings open, and you get a burst of fresh air to the outside once again as you all step out, and you see Ashran take actually 2 steps out, looking up at the sky, just sort of falls to his knees. I can't believe I'm finally out. He looks back towards all of you, and you see like tears whelming in his eyes. And the treasure. Was it really? Was it there?
Have it. There was treasure. We have it. If we want to work out our deal properly, we'd need time to weigh, count everything, etc. Busy work, I know, but suppose things should be done properly.
Can I see it?
I'll just open my pack and show him the gold that's in there.
He kind of walks over and just sort of grabs a handful of it and lets the coins fall out of his hand. As long as the damned elves don't have it anymore. No offense. And he kind of looks over to Zadel and Ferora. It is yours. You earned it. After 4,000 years in there, I just needed somebody to tell me it existed.
We're happy we could help with that regard, and if you want a meal, I know there are some hobgoblins nearby who definitely need some sorting out.
I'll find something nearby. And sort of looks down the path a bit and sees the horses tied up.
We may need those to be able to get home, I'm afraid. It's
There with us.
All right. A bit further away then. I owe you a debt. All of you, I know that it can't have been easy making this choice and doing this. But I thought that I had died. And knowing that it wasn't all for nothing means something, so it's time for me to spread my wings again. Hopefully our paths cross again. And he takes a few steps away and walks past the horses, and his eyes sort of linger for a bit. And he shakes his head. And as he steps out of the kind of this narrow fissure and out into the grass once again, you see there's like a shimmering as he extends out in his full golden dragon form, lets out a just billowing roar, which causes the horses to kind of pull at the stirrups and panic for a moment. And you rush to calm them down, and then whoosh, whoosh, with two flaps of his wings, he takes off and goes soaring through the now it's probably about midday at this point. Even a day has passed in the time, so over 24 hours since you came in, but now middle of the day. And you watch as Ashron goes soaring off and kind of does a circle through the air, and you can see just enjoying his freedom before cresting off towards the mountains.
That was really nice.
Holy crap.
See, I don't think he was mean.
It's
I think he was just hungry.
Rest. Yeah.
I mean, if I hadn't eaten for 4,000 years, I'd be cranky.
But then I may have had a small thought that may benefit you and us and me and a friend. But would you say the crew needs another person? I mean, there's someone who wants to get out and see the world, and, well, we're pirates, come on.
Oh, Rishkar. Mirrorman.
Yeah.
It's a useful skill set. So, sure, why not? I mean, I guess if he wants to go, I'm fine with that.
I suppose we should ask him then. Just prop the mirror up on the tree, call the cell again.
It stops at the cell, and Rishkar is sitting there and then looks back out. Oh, so outside. Well, that's a good sign. No dragon.
No dragon. He is dealt with.
Good. So
Killed him.
make a deception check.
And if you cross us, you're next. Why do I do these things? 10.
He gives you a discerning look. Sure, you killed him. So, deal's a deal. You let me out now.
Fine, we'll let you out. We trade information. We may have a proposition for you as well, where you get to see the world. You'll be among friends who know you and where you came from.
I'm not really one for friends.
Pirate crew?
Pirating does sound interesting.
Pirate captain.
Really? Make a persuasion check. After the deception check, he sort of needs a little bit of convincing.
There's a total of 2 because I rolled a 1.
He says, right. Pirate captain, too.
Actually a pirate captain, sailing under a much bigger deal captain, but still a captain.
Hey, screw you.
It's true.
I
All right,
right in
well,
the shoulder.
Uncanny dodge.
if you let me out, sure, I'll travel with you for a little while until I find something better, I guess.
Well,
And you're gonna share with us whatever you've got rolling around in your noggin, right?
Some of it.
Well, the important bits. Broad strokes.
All right, we have a deal. I'd shake your hand, but, well, I'm in a mirror.
On that note, I will say the command word for him to be let out, which I'm saying is the elven word for
Bacon.
smash.
Smash.
Yeah.
All right. As you say the elven word for smash, which is just smash, there's actually this sort of cracking appearance across the mirror for a second. You'll panic as you think it's breaking. And then one by one, kind of the pieces fall apart or fall away. And the elven man steps out of it. The glass now there behind him as he steps out, this sort of weird illusion that takes place, and it mirrors back to its inert state as he now steps onto the grass, kind of standing at his full height as he was sort of like downwards as he's looking up at all of you. He's a little bit over 4 feet tall, so he crouches and steps out. I forgot how much color there was. All right. You got anything to eat?
Yep, I give him a ration.
He
Finally.
takes the ration, and then against it, he says, I'm not really hungry. It was weird. Never really got hungry. Never slept either. It was hell. Now I gotta take a piss. And he sort of looks around, walks over to some bushes to do his business, and he calls over his shoulder and says, so where are we going?
Well, first we need to organize, drop off this gold. There is the point of buying back someone's freedom for a government that's a bit of an asshole. Then wherever we go on to next.
If I've learned one thing in all my lives or all my years, all governments are assholes.
About that, guys, we're wanted too. Like it's like said elf they want to kill, but so I'm a little worried about going back to town or back to South Harbor because I think Fiore could buy back the shop, but I don't know if we could buy back our freedom. Vulture's really not good.
Saddle says, well, we have to go back to South Harbor if I'm going to buy the store back. And, well, Dad said he'd talk to the Thunder Guard, and we'll see what they have to say. The guilds have a lot of pull, so maybe we, once we have the shop back, might be able to work out some amnesty here.
Okay.
We got to go back that way anyway. It's the direction of the ship.
We can't do nothing. I mean, we're not criminals.
I know we're not, but the
We have
Vulture's
to
convinced
deal
some
with
people.
one
Well, Vulture's
problem
not
first.
here, and I mean, buying the shop back doesn't mean anything if Sadell can't ever come home.
If we have the shop back, that may open up more negotiations. Either way, it's a one step at a time kind of deal, I'm guessing.
At which point the elven man sort of scoffs and says, So am I the only one here that's not wanted then anymore?
Actually, yes. Well,
How's that for irony? I'm sorry, guys. I was dragging some stuff here. Now you got a traveling companion. He says, Saddle says, well, let's go back anyway. Turn back in the horses and we can go from there, make a plan. We should probably load up the saddlebags with as much of this gold we can. It's going to be slow going. So, you guys heading back to the Saddle estate?
mm-hmm.
Or the
Alright.
July estate?
I do a sending spell to put my first mate, like, still alive, got some money, making a plan, see you soon.
You get a message back. Sounds good. Send help just in case. Love you. All right. So you load up the horses.
Sorry, I'd have to use my last 3rd level spell to say it back.
It's implied.
You could just send back that actual sentence.
You all load up your horses and begin making your way back across the countryside in the direction of the July estate at the edges of South Harbor. You spend a couple of days traveling, getting to know your new companion a little bit better. Rishkar is a bit of a slob, has absolutely no manners, just kind of does whatever the hell he wants. But otherwise, no real issues until you eventually crest the edge of the forest and can see in the distance South Harbor sitting at the edge of the cliff sides, and then the sloping hills that lead over to these small little vineyards where the July estate resides. And you go riding up to the gates. And Rishkar, as you're approaching too, looks around and says, everything looks so different. What the hell is that? As he, like, a train passes in the distance and he sees it, like, crossing across the countryside. Is this all elven made? And Saddle turns to him and says, nope, it's just South Harbor ingenuity. And the elf kind of gives a smile and says, I imagine there's a lot of fun stuff around here to take. It looks around all of you. Later, of course. You come riding through the gates. Which luckily nobody is hostile to the party because the ruin or the glyph still seems to be intact.
Good.
Down there. No really pissed off mailman has set that off yet.
Why was the mailman so hostile?
And as you put the horses away, the front doors swing open, and you see a couple of people emerge. You see Sadel's parents come walking out the door. His mother giving a smile and sort of clasping her hands, and comes rushing up to all of you and checking to see you're okay, and kind of see some people aren't so okay, and for the most part healed, a little bit dirty. She checks out Sadel and sort of wipes some like dirt off his face. Sadel Senior comes out and says, "Oh, glad to see you're all okay. Why don't you come on in? Some of your friends have been here for a while. We've been entertaining them a bit."
Not worried about who she said.
He turns around, he says, and man, that guy Ivar can really play cards. You walk into the house and you see three of your crew members sitting at at a table. One, it looks to be like a dining room table, though one of them has their boots up on it, kind of lounge back in a chair, and they're kind of dealing out some cards. You see a dwarven man with a thick black beard, Ivar. You also see an elven woman and a human man sitting on either side, Rune and Vivian. Both occupying this table.
Hey guys!
Some help, you all are.
As the three of them look up as you enter, they all, or you see Vivian and Rune kind of stand up and say, Captain, good to see you. And Ivar sort of gives away and says, Captain, good to see you made it back alive. Sadie was a bit worried.
Who? Holly?
Holly, why does he say? Oh man, I went back so far on that one. That was an old NPC I just pulled out. Bear in mind, they are like the same person. But yeah, Holly sent us to check on you.
I can see that.
So I heard you gotten yourself into a little bit of trouble here. These kind folk were filling us in. And you see the Saddle's parents go and sit at their seats kind of off into the foyer there, and or into the sitting area, and Saddle Senior says, they've been very kind in helping us out a little bit around the house. I told them a little bit of the trouble that we were in that you all were looking to take care of. So they've been helping, and haven't seen any problems yet, so must be working.
Good.
Saddle's mother says, so, did you find it? And Saddle,
I just dropped my bag.
yeah. and some coins spill on the ground and kind of scatter across, and everybody in the room that hasn't seen it this far kind of stares at it. Bruin sort of catches one of the coins as it rolls across the floor with his foot and picks it up and says, "It looks like we got a bit of a haul here, don't we? Should we take this back to the ship?"
Not quite yet. We need to buy back Saddle's shop first. There's the problem with all of us being wanted by the government, which we may need to deal with. Aside from that, yeah, there's plenty of booze money.
Ruin says, "All right." And I don't know why I turned to Matthew McConaughey there, but he's now Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
All right. So he flicks back the coin to you, and Saddle and Ferror look at each other and says, "Well, we'll start counting, figure out what we've got." He looks at Dad. "Did you have any luck with the guild?" And Saddle Senior says, "Actually, I arranged a meeting with them. Once you got back, I told them we'd go speak. They said if you were able to buy back the shop, they have some ideas on what we can do next. They didn't really say much more than that." And Ferrora says, "Well, best get counting then." And they sit down and begin to count out the money. What are you guys doing?
Sorry, give me a second. I suppose I will introduce Rishkar to the others who are currently here.
Okay. And Rishkar says a polite hello to everyone, as polite as he can. And as he's introduced to Saddle's parents, says, "You have a lovely home here. I thank you for inviting me in." You just sort of see his hand sort of creeping over to a candlestick behind him.
Nope.
Oh, as I said, you have a lovely home.
Pick it a spray bottle.
We don't steal from our friends' parents.
You have a couple hours while they try to count out and appraise everything and get an idea how much they have. Is there anything that anybody wanted to? You guys can now divide up your loot in safety if you wish to claim items.
So who wants the belt of dwarven kind?
Oh man, I knew that was going to be the winner. Who wants a beard?
If I grow a beard, will it be blue?
You might be Bluebeard.
Yes. Okay, so the belt of dwarven kind gives you plus to strength, doesn't it?
No, Constitution.
Constitution, that's what it is. Okay. I mean, I definitely think you should get the Ion Stone of Strength, Savannah.
I take the stone, you take the belt, unless anybody else wants them.
Really, really wants them. I mean,
I just really want to see Lilibet with a beard.
I know,
So much.
Well, seeing as how my great grandmother is a dwarf, I think it only fits, right?
It's you're totally able to grow a beard.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I mean, Lil is, super young, so maybe she just hasn't hit puberty yet. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. The strength would be nice. It'd put me at an 18 as well, but I'm good with the extra Constitution. What do you want, Star?
I'm just double checking all my weapon proficiencies quickly. Wait, no, it should just be on my sheet, shouldn't it? Why am I looking through the book? Why am I making this harder?
Rapier is pretty legit.
I know, that thing is
right?
pretty.
It's super cool. And all finesse.
Oh, of course, my weapon proficiencies aren't on my sheet because of the update.
Everything that you had on your sheet is still there. You just have to change it back to
I haven't
survival mode.
changed it to have the. It's just the weapon. Oh no, I am proficient in rapiers, so yeah, I'm happy.
That's so legit.
Oh my god, can I have more stuff though that makes me, resistant to poison?
Really just racking that up. Nobody else gets any poison resistance because Lil is taking all of them.
Oh gosh. Oh, I don't
And
have my
then-
monster manual.
We have the plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so angry.
God damn it.
The wand.
Guys, I worked on that armor for like 5
It's
minutes.
amazing.
I love it.
For like 5 minutes.
I love it. I mean,
So the
It's
wand
pretty
and
awesome.
The armor and the
Yeah.
ring. I guess
and the scroll.
And who gets the mirror?
we can't just like carry that around.
I know, this thing is huge.
So maybe we should just leave it on the ship until we need it.
It would make for
Yeah.
good holding cells.
Yeah. I think it's probably good for our ship.
You do have Rishkar that says, considering I spent thousands of years in it, I feel like it belongs to me, but I'll gladly let you have it if you want it.
Who let you in here? Why are you here right now? We should. Is he still in the room?
Do you want to kick him out of the room?
We have a side meeting.
Sure.
I feel like a little bad, and like maybe we should give him something shiny.
Maybe. He could have the mirror if he really wants it.
No, I just meant like some money or like a statue or something.
I was kind of going on the money. I'm fine with that.
We have plenty, I think. I'm really torn between the rapier or the wand of wonder. Although with the curious tabaxi with the wand of wonder.
I think I think either you or, I don't know if Lucius can use the rapier, but I know you can, right?
I think I'm the only one who can use. I'm not the only one who can use it, but it's
I
also
can,
the
but
best
it's not
weapon.
gonna do anything for me. Well, so you take the sword, I'll take the stone, Lil take the belt, put the mirror on the ship, and then
We ask the others when they're feeling more talkative. I think
Yeah.
they're worn out.
they
I
take
will
it
point
out.
out, I think there's a limited amount of you that can even use the armor also. I was double checking. Neither Sadel nor Lucius can use medium armor. So,
I got a plate though.
Yeah, so do I. That's the one thing.
it is a +1 breastplate, so that's 14 plus up to 2 dex +1. So, I don't know what your guys' dex modifiers are.
Yeah, it'd be less than what I'm already at.
So, Savannah, I think that would lower your AC by 1.
Yeah, put me on 19. We'll think about it.
Okay.
Dude.
Think about that one. Other one. Oh, can I also, since I'm the only one that can cast the spell, can I have the scroll, please?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yay! Finally, a scroll I could use.
Yeah. So until you get the spell slots, you would need to check for it. But once you have 6 level spell slots,
Then I can just use it, right?
Mhm.
Cool. I'll just stick it in my bag for later.
Okay.
Yay.
So assuming that's all you guys are claiming right now, Sadel comes back out to the group and so after they've got like piles of gold and platinum and everything like scattered around, they've been counting it, weighing it, going over the statues, inspecting them, and after a few hours, everybody sort of gets really antsy, and Rishkar is just sitting at a table, sort of mirroring what Ivar was doing before, and with his feet propped up on the table, just sort of like spinning a dagger on the tip. Which is like nicely carving a little bit of a hole in the nice dining room table. Sado comes walking over and slaps the dagger away, and as it clatters to the floor, he. So, well, we finished tallying everything up. I think we've got enough. Selling all of the art and all of the other objects. We think we have some buyers we can work out with the other guilds. It comes to about 65,500 gold pieces.
That's a lot.
More than enough that we need to buy back the shop.
That's awesome.
So, are we okay with using most of it to get my shop back?
It's Fiora's money, so yeah. I mean, I am. I don't know about you guys, but...
Fora says, I'm just happy to know that we found it. Whatever we want to do with it is fine with me. I don't want to put any pressure, but I do think it would be good to resolve all of this, and it seems that we can leverage some sway with the guilds if we do this, if we give this money to them. And of course, you all can have the remaining gold for your own use. Assuming that Sado gets some of it, that'll be more than enough to tide us over. And once we get the shop up and running, we'll have our income back.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point, right?
Yep.
Okay. And she smiles, and Sadel smiles too, and she puts a hand on his shoulder. Well, like my dad said, he arranged a meeting for us. It's getting dark out, well, no, it'd be about mid-morning at this point. So he says, once it gets dark out, there's a small hut outside the walls of the city that we're meeting a few people in a sort of clandestine way. I guess we wait and go do that. Bring this gold too. That's going to be a pain to bring, but all right. And he pushes a chunk of it off to the side and says, this we can keep and do with what we need. The rest I'll start loading up to the cart. So you all can add to your party inventory or divide amongst yourself 15,500 gold pieces.
Does someone with access to the bag want to put it in there for now?
Den, do you still have access to the bag?
I think so. Well, maybe not. I don't remember where it was.
I don't remember where it was either.
No. I do not.
Where is it? I don't even see it. Where'd it go?
God.
Hold on, I can search for it. Did we delete it by accident?
Does Dylan have it on his sheet? Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, I don't think I actually gave him a bag of holding thing. I think it's
No.
his
I
sheet.
think I think it's in
Oh,
on
I
the
thought
second.
we had one.
No, it's just in the it's just on his sheet. I need to actually create one. But I will add that to Dylan's sheet there. All right. I'll add it to the 500 gold payment that you got. So now you guys have 16,000 gold in the bag of holding.
We're in the money.
All right.
You want to rest until then?
Yeah, while we're chilling, I want to go and look at the vineyard. Because Lil loves to make wine.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, so that total did not include the diamonds or the pearl or any of the other magic items.
Yeah. Star, you still have the pearl, right?
Yes.
I have
Okay.
the diamonds.
So, you still have all of that. All right. So you're going to check out the vineyard. Okay. Yeah, you can do that and go kind of spend the rest of the afternoon sort of walking among it. And, you know, it's nice. It's pretty, it's well kept. The grapes that are being grown there are ones that you're familiar with. You've been here before. You've seen you've actually stayed here a little while. So everything looks like it's been well tended to since the last time you were here. So you have a nice afternoon sort of walking among it and maybe sampling some of the recent vintage of wines from the last harvest. So,
cool.
All right. Anybody else?
If we're having a chance to shout, I would like to examine that pearl. I've got a bit more.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
I've got too many windows open. Nat 1, so 6.
And he's back.
Beautiful pearl. And
It's mine.
Translucent black. It's like it shimmers and glows in your hand and is just
Precious.
just take it back away.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else doing anything?
If there's somewhere I go swim, I go swim.
Yeah, there's probably like a small like retention pond or a lake nearby.
Cool.
You can swim in. Nothing like fancy, not the ocean, but you can
Okay.
swim, dip your feet for a while.
And then I go back and I take a nap. And then I want to attune to the Iron Stone of Strength.
Okay, you can attune to that too.
My strength is a 20!
Wow.
If there is time, I would like to attune to my sword as well.
Okay, you took the sword of the snake, correct?
Yep.
So as you attune, no, I'm not going to give you another spur. As you you attune to it, the pommel sort of rides a bit. You can feel this sort of flow to the it's metal and it's solid, but it's got just this like flexibility to the blade. And as you attune to it, you can thrust and test out the balance, and it's there. And then as you sort of whip around, the tip of the sword extends out and can whip out to 10 feet. So, like I said, functions as both a whip and a rapier.
That's so cool.
Both with a +2 bonus. Alrighty.
After walking around, I'll attune to the belt as well.
Okay. You attune to it. So your Constitution score increases by 2, and you get some advantages against dwarves right now, and we'll deal with the beard come the next long rest. All right. So after spending the day relaxing, finally evening falls, and a large like a cart is loaded up. There are barrels placed in the back of it that all the gold and everything is put into empty wine barrels that are then sealed to give a little bit of cover to what is going on here. Those of you that don't have them are given some like brown kind of unassuming cloaks to throw over your current regalia to try to disguise yourself a bit more.
I actually just I'm going to refuse a cloak. I'll just say I'll deal with it when we're near the city.
To be fair, you probably already have like a dark cloak. I don't know.
I am wearing a dark cloak all the time.
But yeah, you can do that. And currently it's your crew. Do you want Rune, Ivar, and Vivian to come with you?
What do you guys think?
Do we leave the pirates alone in the mansion full of very valuable things?
Well, no, we'd send it back to the ship.
I don't know. I think for me, I don't know if we need all of them, but having one with us just in case all of a sudden things blow up, they can get back and get people, but I don't know. having somebody know what's happening with us is probably a good thing that can get to the ship. I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna get bamboozled here.
I want to send Ivar back to the ship.
Okay.
With a
He sort of, as you tell him to go back, he says, Captain, if I can say something before.
yeah.
Holly seemed really insistent on us staying with you. And you are the captain, and I will stay, or I will go if that is your order, but I'm also scared of what will happen if I return without you.
Okay. What did she say to you?
Nothing I would repeat in mixed company.
Alright, you can stay.
Okay.
She's kind of scary.
Yeah. Things got a bit intense after you left. I think she took the captain thing, or the first mate being in charge thing, pretty seriously. A lot of cleaning. A lot of firearms testing.
It's probably for the best.
But are you guys going to bring any with you to the meeting specifically?
Maybe if we bring 2 of them to the meeting with us. I mean, it's extra muscle if we need it.
Yeah. Are Saddle's parents staying home, or are they coming with us?
No, they're staying home.
Okay. Let's leave Ivar with Saddle's parents.
Okay. And you guys taking Rishkar with you?
And I'll bring Rune and Vivian.
Okay. All right. And are you leaving Rishkar out of your sight, or is he joining the group?
He's coming with us.
Yeah.
I don't trust him in their house.
So for the sake of the rest of the session then, all right. Sarah and Alex, you have access to Ruin and Vivian. Ivar will be staying back. All right. As you all load up the wagon, and it's the same sheet for both of them. I just gave you all access to it. As you load up the wagon and begin making your way out into the darkness, the road before you winding outwards towards the city, eventually you come across this small hut just on the edges of the city streets, and kind of about a quarter mile off from the furthest outskirts of the city. Given that South Harbor, I forgot this before because I misspoke, South Harbor does not have any walls around it. As you approach, you can see there's a single lantern hanging from the front door, or from the side of the front door at this hut, and there are a couple horses hobbled outside of it. You pull the wagon up. Go ahead.
As we approach the sea, I will actually cast Alter Self on myself.
Okay.
Because I can now. I will make myself look like a half-elf, but with the same sort of white hair and blue eyes that I currently have.
Okay. So just a half-elf version of Star.
Basically.
I like it. Somebody draw that. So Star transforms into a half-elf version of himself, and you all approach the hut. You bring the wagon to a halt, and Saddle blocks it to keep the horses from running off with it, and says, "All right, I guess we're going in. Try to be nice. best you can. These are some important people. And, well, I guess they kind of hold our livelihood in the balance. So, all right. Okay. He walks up to the doors, knocks. Doo, doo, doo. There's a shifting of something moving away from the door on the inside, and it opens up. There's a human man standing there. All right, you're here. Come on, come in. Ushers everybody inside. As you enter, you come into this 40 by 40 foot room. Basically, this is a whole hut. It looks to be actually like a storage shed or like a barn that's been converted into some sort of meeting hall. There are some rafters up at the top of the structure with some people standing around conversing. And in the center, there are a couple of tables with more humans, gnomes, dwarves, half-orcs, all mixes of races kind of sitting around conversing. Probably about a dozen people currently gathered around in here. And Saddle begins walking towards one of the tables in particular, where you see a dwarven man. Looks to be older, with coarse brown hair and a thick brown beard. He looks up at Saddle as he approaches and stands and walks over, reaches out and shakes Saddle's hand and says, "Good to see you, boy. I didn't think we'd be seeing you around so soon, given he kind of pulls out from his belt the wanted poster that it's crumpled up. He says, "Given the news." Saddle kind of gives a half laugh, seems a little bit nervous, and looks towards the group. He says, "Everyone, this is Dragar Ironboot, guild leader of the Thunder Guard." Dragar kind of gives a smile and a nod towards all of you. Says, "Pleasure meeting all of you. So, let's get down to business then. Here you said you'd be coming up with the funds to purchase your shop back from the Stalwart Keepers. Were you able to find them?" Saddle nods and says, "That and some. We can buy the shop back, and thus our position with the Thunder Guard, I assume." Dragar kind of has a stern look on his face and looks around for some of the others at the table. "Well, of course, buddy." And claps him on the shoulder and says, you and your pa are one of us, and you'll stay one of us. We got some business to discuss." Looks around the room. The room kind of goes quiet as everyone kind of gives attention to what's about to be said. "We heard all of you," looks around to your whole group, "mixed it up with the Keepers a while back. Is that true?"
We did what we were tasked, but then we kind of let him know what for, that we didn't like that everything was on the up and up. So we kind of made Commandant Fulcher angry.
"Commandant who?"
He was the leader of the delegation that went to Graldar. And he's a real sumbitch.
Most of the commandants are, to be honest. They get just enough power to be real assholes about it. not enough to actually mean anything.
Well, he bent somebody's ear, because now we're wanted.
We hurt his feelings, so he made us criminals.
You wouldn't be the only ones. A couple in here probably had the same treatment, though we got them the paperwork to change who they were. Looks over to sort of a mousy-looking elven man in the corner, sort of shrugs, and as humans will like punch him in the shoulder. The Dragar turns back to you and says, "The Keepers have been pissing off a lot of people. Well, since they took over. It's kind of what we wanted to talk to you about. You don't seem like you have any love for their organization. Few people do. We've been working on something for a while. A bit of an event. All right, I'll be honest with you, and as upfront as I can be. Most of what we've been dealing with now is too much subterfuge for my personality. We're gathering up a resistance. The Keepers have us by the short ones right now. A few months back, I'm sure you heard about this, they stormed the cathedral, took all the cardinals hostage, and used them as bargaining chips. Cardinals, Temple of the Six, have the support of the people. As long as the edicts keep coming forth from the cathedral, they don't really care who's writing them or what sort of influences. They have to take it on faith. Most people know what's really going on, but too scared to do anything. The guilds, well, we've got the real power here. We've got hands in the right pockets, and we've got, we bring in the coin. But without the support of the people, there's not much we can do other than do what the Keepers say. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So, we've been getting things ready. Being a little late on shipments. Maybe messing with a few orders here and there. Getting things not quite right. Trying to gum up the works a bit for the Keepers. And all the while, us and the other guilds been passing the word along. Building up a movement. Right now, we got a pretty big powder keg here waiting to explode. They're just waiting for the spark. We've been looking for the right time, and to be honest, the right people. Well, to help us. We can't do anything right now when we're being watched by the Keepers, but you seem to have some moxie about you. Looks like you can get things done, not afraid to piss people off. If you can help us, I might be able to turn things in our favor. Most of you don't really have anything to lose at this point. Given you're not from here. No offense given. Zadel, you and your pa, well, you got the most to lose, so feel free to walk away. Zadel crosses his arms and says, "Now, Dragar, you know I can't do that." Good boy. So, What about the rest of you? You in for causing a bit of trouble?
Heck yeah.
Trouble seems to happen wherever we go, but I can't think why.
Bad luck, I guess.
I just sort of knock together the skulls on my flail.
He eyes it and gives a approving nod. He says,
I shiver a little bit.
as you hear the cries of your people, no. He says, and keep this in mind, we're not looking to hurt anyone now. We're tired of this war. We're tired of this crusade that the Keepers have us on at this point. They're running us ragged with a war that we don't even know why we entered in the first place. It's the Marshal General to begin with. Well, she's... I don't know what's wrong with her, but... if we can do this bloodless, we've got a plan to do that. There might be some fighting, but we just need to get the power back so we can talk on even playing field with the Keepers. Guilds, the church. We'll have enough power there to put them in their place or get them out. Sound fair? All right, well, here's the tricky part. Like I said, we got things ready at this point. We're just looking for a signal. There's a Fort Drake, just up the river from, or just up the coast from here. I'll put you guys back to the world map. Fort Drake's just up the coast from here. That's where the bulk of the Keeper forces reside. And that's what we're aiming to avoid. The cathedral. That's what we need to hit. That's where the cardinals are being held. There are some keepers there, but not nearly as many. It's mostly just the officers, higher ranking, and then a few guards. If, from what I've heard, Saddle Senior talking, you guys got a ship? I don't know how reckless you might be, but we've got the equipment. We could outfit your ship, disguise it, give you the gear you might need, make it look like a keeper vessel. We can marshal our forces, cause a bit of a distraction, get things going. You sail upriver, get yourselves to the cathedral, lay siege to it. I assume if you've got a ship, you've got a crew. Hopefully they can fight. We'll send any along we can, but we're not really fighting folk, and we got barely enough to get this party started. So, if you can get in, rescue the cardinals, oh, that's game over there. Sound doable?
Strictly speaking, I think we have enough people, some to approach head on, bang the doors down. I mean, if you others going through a back way, we can pin down the keepers.
All right.
Well, just so I get this straight, you want us disguised as a keeper ship to attack the cathedral so that, like, the people think that the keepers are attacking the Six?
I think at that point they'll know what's going on. That's more enough to get you past Fort Drake. That's the only way up to Lytton Ariane and the cathedral.
Oh, is that way? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Getting past the fort, that's going to be pretty tough. I don't know if you've got anyone with a silver tongue on your crew, but you might want to have them do the talking.
I look at our new little master of thievery.
How good you're talking?
I'm not really. That's not really my thing. I'll just hide. We'll get you the right paperwork. We'll do everything we can to help you masquerade, but it's gonna be. That's really the first place where I think this could all go belly up. The other you might not like so much either. There aren't too many people at the cathedral. That's because there doesn't need to be. Marshal General's going to be there. And given that none of you are from around here, I assume you don't know who that is. Leader of the Keepers. Veshalonson. He sort of looks around. Doesn't see much reaction from that either.
I did live on Evrandal for a few years.
You make a history check. Yeah.
Can I make one too?
Yeah.
For Lil?
Yeah.
Okay.
8. Guys, I used up all my luck last week.
All those natural 20s. 16 for Lil.
Okay. You're pretty sure you've heard this name before, Lil. And as he begins to tell the rest of the group, you're because Den doesn't know and a few others don't know, and Sadel also kind of steps back, hearing that, and I'll give you some more information if you need it afterwards. But so you do know who this person is. But he says, Veshalonson, one of the last surviving members of the Falcon Guild. He keeps kind of going, looking to see if there's any reaction for anyone, but it says, also known as Vesh of the Gleaming Shield, defender of Evrandal, and vanquisher of the Demon Queen, Arathilia. He kind of turns more towards Star and Den and tells you guys the rest. It says, the Falcon Guild was a group of heroes, I guess you could say, adventuring types that banded together to defend, the United Nation, or the nations of Sarthia. Heroes from all across, powerful. Well, they did a lot in their time. Slew dragons, banished powerful creatures back to planes of beyond our knowledge. Vesh was one of them. And, well, one of the last 3 that are left. She's tough. Like I said, I'm hoping it's not going to come to bloodshed. Lil, you know of the Falcon Guild, and from the story that he's telling you, you've heard some legends of it. You know that there were some heroes from Balavar too that banded together as part of this organization. You also know that about not too long ago, probably about 15 years ago or so, that the Falcon Guild was essentially wiped out during a battle or a fight against an entity known as the Demon Queen that rose up in Ondakir. And the Falcon Guild attempted to destroy this queen and her armies. Most of them were killed. 3 survived. Vesh was one of them. And the 3 were given credit for killing the Demon Queen.
Well, she's leader of the Keepers for a reason. But I don't know. Here's hoping she's just got bad information so that we can maybe convince her otherwise. Where's Bishop Leclerc? Did we know? Is he up in the cathedral?
I assume he would be.
That may be helpful.
Well, I talked to him before.
Hmm.
He said he was fine.
Yeah.
So I would assume he's not held hostage somewhere.
Yeah. Really, not really sure where he is, and um, Dragar doesn't seem to know either. But I just call him, yeah, Dragar. Doesn't seem to recognize that name either.
Well, guys, what do we do? Disguise the ship and go?
It's gonna be a hard thing to disguise that ship.
Not impossible with the right story. I mean, such a brilliant capture maybe would be a brilliant prize to take to the leader of the Stalwart Keepers. With the right armor and papers, we could pass off members of our crew as keepers who have managed to take the ship. That gets us past the fort and the easy path to the cathedral.
And if they figure out we're not keepers, then what?
I've been thinking about that. With a horse, if perhaps it may be necessary to get someone inside the fort to make things go wrong in there. If there's a high up on the outside, they'd want to make everything look fine to keep their name good.
Then it's your ship. The decision ultimately, unfortunately, lies with you. We're your crew.
I mean, I don't want to put my people in danger. I can't sit by and let them hold the cardinals hostage. That's sort of my people, too, kind of.
By proxy.
Yeah. I mean, we can't just leave them. We can't just leave a city like this. And the keepers are shit.
They sullied our good name.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, we saw what Fulcher was doing and saying in Graldar and all that. I mean, something not right about that. We gotta do it.
So we do. I think Star's onto something here with maybe using the ship and maybe using a couple of us as not bait, but as a hook of like, look what we captured. We're taking this to hoity-toity in the big cathedral, and yeah, I mean, I think Star's onto something.
I just, what if we get there and they're like, oh, thank you for capturing their ship, we're gonna keep it at the fort now. And we don't even get to the cathedral. Like, we've got to get past. Not in.
If we have orders to report directly to the marshal with the ship, they can't stop that, can they?
I mean, I didn't think Fulcher was gonna try to send an entire race of people to the deaths, but he's a huge dick, so...
It seems that they put their own self-importance above anything else's. We need a way or the papers to make it look like we have the voice from the top telling us what to do and where to go. If we can acquire the necessary things there, then it's just we try and have enough bluster as the rest of them.
You're smart ones.
Things shouldn't need to be perfect. Too perfect detail could potentially blow this out. We just need to look right and be loud and in charge enough to look the part. If we could get if we get the right sails, the flags, if we can get those up on the ship, that's half of it. If we get the armor and the paperwork, there's another part of it. After that, it's just hoping we can talk our way past the fort.
All right.
Gil, can you help us with this paperwork? Or Dagar? What was his name?
Dagar?
Thank you.
Dragar.
Dragar.
Sorry.
Did you call him Gil first, or are you saying Guild?
Guild.
Okay. Hey, Gil. Yeah, you. He says, "I'll do what I can. If you have anything specific you need, some of our. Well, they may need some help."
If
All
there's any official documentation the keepers use for delivering orders or getting past their own checkpoints, those are the most important things. I can provide some gold towards any extra cost there may be.
There is an outpost here in South Harbor. Might be able to get it from there. Yeah, we might be able to help with that.
I need to clean up my crew.
We've got a stockpile of keeper armor, so we can get that to you.
That'll help.
All right. Well, let's get things going then. And with that, they begin to, everybody sort of like seeming more energized now. This room, now that they've seen you've accepted this this offer, everybody begins to go about and get to work on whatever they need to. And we'll go ahead and take our break right there. Sorry, starting to get like a tickle in the back of my throat. And we'll take our break right here. Be back here in about 10 minutes and finish up the rest of the session. Welcome back, everyone. We will go ahead and I don't have anything else. Any other questions in the chat that came up? Anybody who's looking at it?
For now, the only one that's really come up, which I think should be addressed in general, G-Master just are saying they feel like all this is some connection back to our previous campaign. I would prefer to address a bit of that myself quickly, and just that it's, well, Sean will have something to say, it's mainly these religious aspects that have carried on because it is the same world. But aside from that, I believe there may be one character as a direct relation back to that, which we may get into later. But aside from that, it's sort of the same religious order the same religion that's been dealt with.
Yeah. No, this stuff if you're referring to the heroes and stuff that we're talking about, the Falcon Guild, no, that is something that that isn't directly related back to the previous campaign, though the events of the previous campaign might have inspired some of those heroes to take up heroing. So yeah, we'll no, they are in the dark as all of you are.
Same universe. Different day.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. All right. So getting back into the story, you guys spend we'll say, I assume you guys go ahead and probably take a long rest for the evening, or probably spend some time planning and for resting up for your whatever you might be doing the next day. Though you can go ahead and roll your check. Roll your D100.
Oh, goody. Let's see.
Drum roll.
That would be a 71.
So that's a no. So no beard today.
I was so hoping. There's always tomorrow.
I go downstairs or wherever I go and meet up with the group, and I'm a little dejected.
All right. So the rest of you, as you gather yourselves together, what would you guys like to do with your day to prepare?
First thing, just because before I go join everyone else, is going to be check out the Pearl again. That may have become my new obsession.
Okay. Yeah, you spend some more time enraptured by the Pearl.
Another investigation check for it.
Sure.
8.
It is a lovely pearl.
So precious. My precious.
As you feel like tufts of your hair beginning to fall. Just kidding. That would be sad, wouldn't it? Yeah, you you all come to and begin to prepare for the day. You do notice a couple of things as you're getting up. So I'm assuming that you guys probably went back to I assume you guys probably went back to the Sad Elves' parents' house afterwards. So leaving the gold to get the shop back up and running. You wake the next day and you can see that there is a sort of like a clustering of people here. A few wagons have arrived, and some of the other guild members that you had before have some things for you. They come in, some of the other members of the Thunder Guard, a few others that you haven't seen before. They bring in a chest full of, or they slam it down the table, and who's leading this like forging business and all that, or the paperwork? Anybody here?
It was my plan, so it's probably me.
Okay. As you push open the chest, and you can see inside of it are a number of scrolls. There is like wax and seals, some of the official seals, some like stolen document materials from the from the Stalwart Keepers. And the Giller said, so we were able to come by some of this. I can help you out in forging the documents. I just need to know what story you're all going to go with on this.
Currently, as of yet, fully unsaid, but so far I believe we're still going with the idea of a captured ship being taken to see the Marshal. Is that still okay with you, Dan?
I guess. I'm not really a planner. So if you guys think it'll work, then.
All right. And we're going to need to fashion you all some armor too, with some station to it. What ranking are you thinking for your commanding officer of this group?
I look to someone who I'm sure must have more knowledge of the rankings of the Stalwart Keepers.
What was it Commander Race that was the leader of the fort?
No,
Fort
she was a
Stalwart captain.
Captain. Stalwart.
Oh,
captain.
she was a captain.
Okay. I'll go ahead and you all sort of brainstorm. You have a bunch of people in the room that now know what they're doing. So you have Lieutenant, Stalwart Captain, Commandant, Lieutenant Colonel, Marshal, Marshal General.
I don't think we should go any higher than Lieutenant or Captain. Because I'm sure that, they get smaller. The numbers of them get smaller and smaller as they go up. But that's just my uneducated guess.
My vote would be Captain.
Yeah.
We need to do as much as we can to get someone who at least matches the rank of whomever may be in charge of the fort. Granted, if there are large groups there, it's guaranteed there'll be someone of a high rank, but too high and we make it obvious.
Saddle and some of them too would probably know. The fort, it being the largest military outpost for there, there would be a marshal station there, who would be in charge when the Marshal General is not. But there are only a couple of marshals. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't think we should go too high because I think the chance of us faking it, if we go too high in rank, gets less and less.
Yeah, I was going to say, Savannah, look like you're thinking real hard about something.
I'm just thinking real hard about everything. I don't know.
For now, we'll say Captain then.
I think that's probably best.
Okay. So they'll fashion some Stalwart Captain armor for who is going to masquerade as the captain.
I can look however I want, so...
Yeah, who's the most convincing of us? Because it's not me.
My size is gonna preclude me from being convincing to most people. My face may give them a scare, but they could probably mostly drop kick me.
There are halflings.
That's true.
There are halflings in the Stalwart Keepers.
Yeah, racist.
Is it racist if it's yourself?
I mean, it needs to be whoever's best at talking.
Can you still cast those spells that make us better at things? Is
Okay.
there one for that for making people talk better?
There is, it's like, hang on. There's like one for every bit. Eagle's Splendor, yes. So it probably makes you really pretty and convincing. But yes, I can do that.
I can look right. I'm sure we'll have a script worked out by the time we get there. I have the right spells, the right look. It should get us in.
Works for me.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so Star.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yeah, and since they're not here, I'll say, yeah, Lucius has got like a 0 in persuasion, and Saddle's got like, I think he has a 4. So
Pretty sure I've got a +1.
He's so endearing, though.
And Lil's got disadvantage on persuasion checks. She can intimidate with the best of them, but
Oh god, my +1 with advantage might be the best shot we've got.
To be fair, I also have +1.
does no one have like a bonus above like a 1?
Well, I thought you said Lucius
I do,
had
but
a lot.
Lil's persuasion is a +7, but I have disadvantage. So, I don't know.
Who did you say had a 4?
Saddle.
That's
No.
right.
Yeah, Saddle.
Okay. Well, I don't really want to make him do it because he's not here.
Yeah, that might be a little.
So essentially, me and Star have the same chance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If only I hadn't gotten that scar on the face.
I don't know. If you think you can do it, you can do it, but I'm not calling you captain. And it's still my ship.
That's perfectly fair.
Okay. Okay. So you were outfitted with a set of Stalwart Keeper captain.
Before they measure and fit it, I alter self, so I'm like 6 foot tall, muscular, probably stay half elven, brown hair, brown eyes, pretty bland looking, could be anyone, not really memorable face, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Generic John Cena.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to alter yourself to do that, and then they'll fashion the armor for somebody of that physicality. Okay, and the rest of you are given sort of regular, like general foot soldier garb as well, except for Lucius, who is politely reminded that he is a tiefling, and it would be very weird to have a tiefling among them. So unless you guys have a plan for Lucius, he's going to have to hide.
We're gonna have to hide him.
Do we want to make him a prisoner?
That's kind of where I was going with it.
Well,
We
I
can
mean,
say
as long
he's-
as he stays out of sight while we're talking to anyone, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah,
Only worry is
I just
they
want to have a...
suspect the ship.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are hidey holes somewhere.
I mean, technically he could go in the mirror, but I don't love that idea.
No, I think maybe we just keep him down below and... could just hide.
Lucius says, I'm fine with this. So Lucius will hide. All right. And then as far as your ship goes, you are... do you still want to have the sails and the flags and the banners all changed to Stalwart Keeper?
Maybe not the sail, but
Colors?
just the flag. If we're trying to
Mhm.
pass it as a ship that's just been captured, we don't want all the regalia on it.
Yeah.
But the keepers want something to show that, hey, this is ours.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you replace the colors with the Stalwart Keeper flags.
I hate it.
We will burn them the second we're done.
Good.
All right. And your crew is outfitted as well. Everything else is sort of prepared. Any last things before you guys depart on your mission? Nope. Okay. Before you leave and as you're getting everything ready, Dragar comes back, or kind of shows up. He's been around during the process. And as you're because you guys are in this at the coast, not at the harbor currently, but at a small inlet where you've been preparing the ship. He says, kind of looking around all of you, says, "Oh, all right. Once you've completed your mission, is there any way you can send word to me quickly so we can get things going on my end?"
I can do that. I can talk inside your head.
Is it gonna hurt?
No, it might scare you a little bit, so I wanted to warn you.
Okay.
But it'll be me.
I'll be ready for that. All right. We'll be ready to go. And with that, the crew begins to dispatch. Why does Alex look like he's about to bust out laughing?
I'm just wondering how this is going to go horribly wrong.
Probably.
By natural ones. That's how it's going to go horribly wrong.
Alex, roll with advantage.
Yep. As you all sail off
My
in your
strength
ship.
is a 20 now.
You all sail off in your ship up the coast. You kind of feel that anxiety as the crew also anxious, not really being necessarily prepared for all this. Holly, who's helped get everything ready too, kind of comes up to you and says, are you sure about all this?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know we were going to be going straight from fighting pirates to getting involved in a civil war.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I'm really excited to see if we can test out the gun while we're here. I won't fire it until you say something, but
Thank
know.
you.
Maybe we can just take a shot at the fort as we go past.
Maybe on the way back.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I'll keep getting things ready. As you prepare the ship, there's this silence that overtakes the crew as you make your way along the coast. Eventually, after most of a day's journey, you can see the fort in the distance approaching up the coastline. And it is a structure that I have a description for. You can see, sitting on the edge of the coastline here, up a relatively high portion of the cliffs, there is a stone fort in a hexagonal shape, with parapets, look like ballista stationed at the corners of it. and a larger structure inside that's mostly obscured by the high walls. And all around the fort, you see tents of the military that is currently garrisoned there. And there is a harbor at the base of the cliff with dozens of warships as well, all floating in the harbor. The bulk of the Evrandalian military force being stationed in this one place. You see the banners of the Stalwart Keepers and Evrandal flying over the fort as well. A beautiful and awe-inspiring sight. Or are you not planning what you are currently planning? And there's a sense of dread that sort of washes over the ship as you approach, sort of, infiltrating the Death Star at this point. As you crest towards the mouth of the river, you can see there at the mouth there is essentially like a blockade, a gate of sorts that there are some figures stationed at, and as the ship crests up, you can see some movement on top of the gate, and there's a little bit of general confusion that sees. I mean, general confusion is not there. General confusion was stationed somewhere else, but there is a sense of confusion at this gate. And as you approach, a smaller sort of sloop makes its way in your direction and pulls up alongside of you. A few keepers sort of waving in your direction. As they furl their sails, you furl yours as well, reaching essentially a stopping point there.
As we're preparing it, sort of in one of the rooms we get quick access, I can quickly come out of it. Armor on, alter self, and hopefully Den does her thing.
I cast enhance ability on it.
Okay. As you see them approaching, you prepare as they come broadside up to you. Plank is lowered, and a few keepers make their way across. You see a keeper. Your armor currently, I didn't say this before, your armor currently has the armor of the captains has 2 stars on either shoulder. This man, as he steps close to you, seems to also have the same rank as you, which sort of feel a little more comfortable about. And he steps across the plank and gives a salute towards your direction, your crew, and says, "Hail there. I don't know your name, officer."
Officer Cena.
I don't even know what to say to that. He just explodes.
Oh my god, that was perfect.
I'm gonna give you an inspiration die for that. That made me laugh. As he first says, "Greetings, Officer Cena. I'm sorry, we don't have you scheduled to travel through the gates today. Is there some confusion here?"
Apologies, emergency order. We captured this ship from the criminal Sadel. I were ordered to take it to the Marshal General.
He looks around the ship. Says, "You captured this ship. From who did you say?"
Sadel July, I believe the name is, from one of the old families. We found him hidden around Roran.
One of the other officers comes up and sort of whispers in his ear, and he says, "Oh, I remember seeing some papers regarding those. Okay, and why is it that you're bringing this vessel north of here? Why are you bringing it through the gates? For what purpose?"
I don't know, just following orders.
Let me see your orders.
I'll show him the orders.
Okay. He takes those and begins to flip through it. All right. At this point, I'm going to have you make your deception check with advantage.
19.
19. He flips over the papers and there's a long silence. And there's sort of like a power play going on here. You can sense a bit as he's looking through it. Looks around. Says, papers seem to be in order. I'm not entirely sure why the Marshal would want you bringing a ship close to Relaani. All right, well, we'll move the gates then. And he motions over to the blockade, and you can see some movement up there as the gates begin to part. And while that's happening, because you imagine it's a slow process as they move it, he begins to sort of walk around the ship and inspect it. He says, "This is an interesting vessel here. What's its name?"
The Wind's Bane.
Interesting. His eye catches the large cannon at the front of the ship and goes walking over towards it and runs his hand along. He says, "I've never seen anything like this before."
I believe it was one of the weapons found when they captured the ship. It may be the reason we're being taken to see the Grand Marshal. General Marshal. So I'm just so used to ranks being done differently that's where the slip up that was there.
He kind of pauses and looks back towards you. I'm going to have you make another deception check.
Yeah, that's fair, but I've still got the advantage.
You do still have the advantage.
11, I'm using my inspiration.
Okay.
I don't have advantage with the inspiration die, it's just another straight roll, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll let you use it as like a third roll. So you get one more try to.
So the highest there was the 11.
Okay. So he kind of turns back and says, "They want the cannon to be brought to the cathedral."
And I assume just to be checked out by the Marshal General.
Interesting. Our orders aren't to let any weapons pass this gate. Fear that the populace might be on edge at this point. You can see behind you or ahead, the gates have opened. He says, "We should, for safety, considering I don't see the cannon mentioned as part of these orders, we'll remove it, have it kept here. We can study it, hopefully replicate some more using our resources."
As far as I'm aware, it can't be removed from the ship without heavy alterations. We've done all we can to disarm the weapon.
He looks around it. He kind of pauses and he says, "Perhaps some of our engineers might see something you didn't." He calls over to the sloop and he kind of barks out to them to go try to fetch some of the engineers from the fort. At which point he stays on the ship and a couple of the other guards do as well. But the sloop kind of goes off towards the fort, leaving all of you alone on the ship with this with these few guards.
Lil is just, I guess, standing at the ready to be told an order, and like doing what looks like normal things while waiting for the ship to be able to go again.
Fuck. This might go horribly wrong. I will call for our engineer, Holly, to come over and assist in any way they can. I make sure I'm not in view of their guards when I do this.
Okay.
I'm the captain. This is my ship now, so I can walk around it freely.
Yeah. As you call over to the engineer, Holly, who's just been sort of pretending to polish the same portion of the ship for the past 3 minutes, kind of turns around and makes her way over. She says, yes, Captain. What orders do you have from me?
You're to help the engineers from the fort examine the weapon, show them how we found it can't be removed from the ship.
Aye, sir. And she kind of goes over to the or she stands there for a little bit, and certainly the engineers aren't. The ship is making its way off, and the engineers won't be back for a little while. The captain who's come onto the ship looks at her and says, "You're the engineer." She says, "Yes, sir. Well, tell me what you found. Why can't this be removed?" And she's like, "Oh, well, the you see the attachments, the molding to the ship, part of the enchantment that was worked into," and she starts going to a long explanation about the enchantment that's part of the canon, is worked into the ship. She's going to need to make a persuasion roll, or no, we'll say a deception roll in this one too, because it's more deceiving. But I'm going to have one of you roll instead.
Haste's dense girlfriend.
I think Savannah should roll this one. So roll a d20 for me.
That's a 6.
At that point, she's stuttering, she's stammering, and she's trying her best explanation. The captain sort of gives a nod and begins to sort of lose interest as the explanation goes on for too long. He says, "All right, soldier, that's enough. Let's have the engineers for the fort. Perhaps you seem qualified. Perhaps they'll see something you've missed." So,
I'm standing right next to Star, and if the other captain is not looking at me, I'm going to lean over to him and I will whisper, "You've got about 30 more seconds before we do this my way."
From here, your way might work. The gate's open.
It's the captain and how many of his guys?
4.
I could grab him. We do have a really awesome fun magical thing now.
Captain, there's something else I need to show you that was acquired with the ship.
He says, "Oh, all right."
A magical device of some kind, a mirror, I believe. It could be some form of portal. I don't know if If you wish to come take a look at it and deem if it needs to be brought into the fort.
Yes. Let's look at this portal you're speaking of. I know that the Marshal General has been looking for things of that nature. Yes, let's look at this.
I signal for Den to follow.
I go with him.
Okay.
And Lil as well.
Okay.
Need my heavy hitting friends.
So the three of you go walking through. The guards that are with him begin to sort of see him go through. They begin to follow, but given the situation of things that you're all Stalwart Keepers and you did succeed on that first check, they're going to sort of hang back near the entrance. So they're out of eyesight, but they're not too far away. And you lead. Where are you keeping the mirror right now? Like in the captain's quarters, in like
Probably.
Okay.
It's a safe spot.
Okay.
It's probably the safest place on the ship. Yeah.
Probably. So you lead into the captain's quarters, and it's there that you see on the wall. There is the beautiful mirror. The captain sort of walks up to it walks up near it, begins inspecting, says, "This mirror is a portal, you say?"
Yes, we've managed to work out how it's activated, but haven't dared go through it without orders first.
He walks up and sort of like puts his hand on it. "And how does it work?"
I make sure none of us are in the reflection, and I just say the word to activate it is the elven word for reflect, which is what I say out loud.
Okay. And as you say that, he will make a charisma saving throw.
I'm trying to very quietly shut the door behind us.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and gotta get his sheet. I wasn't expecting to make this check.
No one was. We have
All
got
right.
so far off the rails.
As only we know how.
He will make a charisma save. As he looks at the mirror and you speak the word, suddenly the mirror sort of like a spider web crack begins to form up the sides, and it opens, and the captain is pulled into the mirror, and then the crack forms silently.
You know what?
We either get these guards and the engineers off the ship, or we just plow our way through the gate now it's open.
We gotta get by the fort if we do that still.
I don't know if we can move fast enough to stop the weapons there from firing at us. That's the problem. We may be able to convince that with the portal there was an accident, so we need to get to the Marshal General quickly.
Well, yeah, so let's keep an eye on the ranks of the engineers, because maybe you outrank them.
Ready? We're out. We're panicked. We didn't know. We have no idea what's happened.
I feel like we've done this once before. We just ran out screaming and trying to... It worked really great the first time. Let's do it again.
Perfectly.
Let's do it again.
Okay, we run out. Ready? Go. And just...
Bust out the door screaming.
Okay, you come rushing out the door screaming, at which point the guards that are on the ship for you begin to draw their weapons. They look back in your direction. What happened?
Your captain activated a portal we found and he's fallen through it. We need to get through to someone as quickly as possible.
Where is it? Take us to him.
We don't know how he activated it. It just went through. He just...
It could suck you all in.
Okay, I'm gonna make a... Alright. I'm trying to decide who's gonna make the check here. I'll say with that last bit, I want Den to make the check
Awesome.
because that's a really important detail. But I'm going to give you advantage because of everybody else that is helping
What
right
am
now.
I rolling?
Deception.
with advantage.
10.
Okay. They look. It says, "You don't know what you're talking about," and they push their way past you towards the room, and a couple of them enter the room. They look over towards the mirror. One of them says, "Is that the mirror he was taken into?
That's it, yes.
If we destroy it, maybe he'll
We
return."
have no idea how this magic works. If we break the mirror, we could all get sucked into wherever it leads.
Or you could kill him.
Okay. There's a pivotal moment here. Star, make another deception check. Actually, what's higher, deception or persuasion? Are they the same?
They're the same.
Okay, doesn't matter. Go and roll.
9.
Okay. The 2 guards on the ship, they look to each other, look back at you. Something's not right here. Destroy that mirror.
No, I grab him. I grab the guy that's going for the mirror. I just full on tackle him.
Okay.
Can I go for the other one?
Well, we can once we roll initiative.
Okay. This is going perfectly to plan.
This is exactly.
This is
Sus.
exactly how our plans
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
Okay, so right now, you guys don't have.
God damn it. Sorry.
Really, Dice? Really?
So right now it's only the 2 in the room.
What is my AC while I'm wearing this armor as well?
Which armor are you wearing?
Because I've got the disguised Stalwart Keeper armor on.
Oh shit! Yeah.
We all do.
Are you proficient in medium armor?
No. Actually, no, I might be a medium. So glad you didn't say heavy.
It's not heavy. This is. You're all wearing breastplates right now. So whatever your AC would be, wearing a breastplate.
No, just light armor.
Okay. So you're not currently proficient in the armor you're wearing. Which means stuff. I actually don't know. This is a question that has never come up before. I think there's some disadvantages with it, but
Do I still have my shield?
yeah, I'll say for the sake, you guys still have all your equipment. It's only your armor that's different right now. All right. Okay. If you wear armor you lack proficiency with, you have disadvantage on any ability check, saving throw, or attack roll that involves strength or dexterity, and you can't cast spells.
Mother. Okay.
That's gonna be tough. I will say, yeah, and yeah, that's sort of where we're at right now. So, that will put it to.
Oh god, my AC is only 16 as well.
It's better than mine.
Sorry, I need to roll for them too. All right, they roll an 8. So, Den, you're first.
Yeah, I full on tackle the guy that's going for the mirror.
All right, make an athletics check versus his acrobatics.
26.
26. Nope, you succeed. You full on tower. So you're going for like full grapple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you rush him, you just grab him, and he starts to play. What are you doing, soldier? Kind of sensing some hostility in the room.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right.
Is that my action to
That's your
grapple
action.
him?
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Then I will just... I don't know what else to do, but so I would fall and grapple him, and if I can, like, turn him away from the mirror so he can't get
Okay.
up. And I'm just gonna hold on to him.
All right. A little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. I just look at everybody, and I try and get in front of the other guy to make sure he doesn't come to the mirror. And Lil just goes,
We have no idea what this mirror is. We were on strict orders to go see the Marshal General, and the captain said that the Marshal General's interested in stuff like this. Let's just take it to her, and she'll help us figure out what the heck to do. This is getting out of hand.
Okay. I'll let you make a persuasion check for this one.
disadvantage or just normal?
Disadvantage, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because you have the disadvantage, like
Because of my scar on my face.
Yeah.
But if it's a dwarf that I'm talking to, I get advantage. So,
Not a dwarf.
darn. Okay. You said persuasion?
Yes.
18 with disadvantage.
Okay. The one that's across the room, actually, is that the end of your turn? Is that what you're doing?
My action is if he rushes for the mirror,
Well,
then
that was
I'm
your
gonna
action to do
to
the
do
check.
the thing. Oh shoot. Yeah, that's my thing. That's my turn.
All right. All right. So it's now their turns. They both, one's being grappled, so he can't go anywhere, and he's gonna try to use action to try to break the grapple. So I'm trying to like, let go of me. Make a athletic check.
14.
Okay. He actually does break the grapple. Pulls himself free. Turns around, wheels around on you. But they both seem to hesitate, given what Lil has said. I'll say, so Star, Den, and Lil, in this moment, they hesitate for their turns. Are you guys doing anything else at this point?
For now, we just need to get this to someone who knows about it. All of us are just as clueless as each other, and a careless risk could mean more of us lost.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
No, I'm following the words of my captain. Just like
Gotta get to the Marshal General. Now.
Alright. Star. Make a persuasion check.
I should just stop talking.
You make it with advantage.
Yeah, I still got my advantage. 18.
Okay. They stop. Sheathe their weapons. They hadn't fully drawn them. All right, let's go now. And they both rush out onto the deck, immediately begin to inform the other ones what's happened. The sloop is beginning to approach from the beginning, but they call out towards the gate, being like, "We have an emergency! Let us pass!" And they begin to yell at you or the crew and saying, "We need to go now!" They're staying on the ship. But
Yeah.
That's fine. We can work with that, I think.
Yep.
okay.
Lil goes rushing out to go and help rigger sails and all that stuff.
Okay. And as you lower the sails and begin to slide or sail through the gates, there is this like panic on the ship for two reasons. One, the four guards that are on the ship are panicked, and some of them are keeping an eye on the mirror. Others are just trying to help out wherever they can, help the ship move as quickly and smoothly as possible. Everyone else on the ship is panicked because you have four soldiers on the ship, and about how close all that was. And you crossed through the gates and begin making your way upriver towards Lit Nolrian. As you leave the vicinity of the fort, you seem to be in the clear once again.
Then, first thing we need to do is find a way to get these four soldiers off the ship. Do you have anyone who can knock them out quietly?
I can push them.
I prefer them not
Just
being
right
able
off.
to fight back, but whatever works.
Is your guys' plan now to hoist them off the ship and to get them off then?
It might be. We can't have them running into the cathedral.
We've got sneaky stabby guy.
Someone
Rishka.
go get him. Damn it. Lil, help me get out this armor as quick as we can, please.
How many of them stayed down with the mirror?
There's still two of them in the mirror room.
They're in two groups of two right now.
Yes.
So
That's all manageable.
what if we get the other two in the mirror that are in the room?
If we think the same trick will work twice, yes. I can't wear my normal armor while I've got this disguise.
Well, I don't know. You could be be in the watch room or in the captain's quarters with the two guys watching the mirror and see if you can find sneaky ways to get them in the mirror.
If I can convince them to look at it, all I need to do is say the password. I need someone else in there as backup in case that doesn't work. I prefer preferably someone else as well to make sure they can't get through the door back to everyone else. At the same time, we need people working on getting the others either silenced or off the ship.
Okay, Dad, you wanna help Star, and I'll go and see if I can't get some help to man overboard some people.
Yeah. Or at least knock them out. We can stick them in a cabinet or something.
Or we could put them up in front of the mirror and get them in the mirror. Sort of. I don't know. Anyway, let's worry about getting them knocked out first. Okay. I think
Right.
this is a plan. Let's go.
First up, the Sad Elves assessment of the mirror. Did he say whether only one person could be captured at a time?
It's got
No,
several cells, right?
It's anyone that's looking in the mirror except the person that says the word.
Okay, I can work with this. If we get someone else from the crew just to keep the doors closed while we're doing this so no one can come running in on us.
I mean, I've got a key to the captain's quarters door,
That works too.
so I can just lock it.
Okay, let's try
I
and do
assume.
this.
Yeah, you have a key.
This is my house.
Okay, so Star and Dead and the two of you go into
We
the
go to
room
do
where
the same plan again.
it'll certainly work again. Okay, you guys both go into the room where the two guards are there. And they're both anxiously watching the mirror and looking outside. They see you approach and they kind of flinch. They say, "What's going on?"
Hold, we just need to talk about this. Any stories anyone may have heard could eventually be helpful. We're just asking everyone what they know and compiling all of the information.
The other guy says, "Oh, my grandmother once told me mirrors steal people's souls, so maybe that's what's happening here."
Oh my god, please put this guy in the mirror.
Hey, do you believe this?
I don't know. I just thought it was an old wives' tale.
Walking around, I'm assuming Den can. Well, she knows to stand somewhere not in the mirror's reflection. But walking around it, are both the guards in its reflection?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both at the point where they could see their own reflection in the mirror.
Okay, and the person who says the word doesn't get sucked in.
No, but they have to be seeing their reflection at the time that the word's said.
Have either of you tried looking at it, maybe?
Yeah.
I know the captain laid his hands on it. Maybe that's what activated it.
I need to make sure no one else touches it. I still think we should destroy it.
Are they facing
Might be
away?
stealing our souls too.
Are they facing away from the mirror, or are they kind of?
They're sort of like you have the mirror on one wall, and they're like standing at the other wall.
As I'm talking to them, I will start pacing one way and back.
So try to like make them watch you while they're speaking. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'll allow this. So you sort of pace over towards the mirror, and
I'm pacing back and forth, or just keeping up small talk about weird stories we've heard about mirrors.
okay. And they're sort of watching you pace, and the as you're walking in front of it, the superstitious one says, "Will you stop pacing or making me nervous?"
Sorry, it's a nervous habit. I stop just in front of the mirror and say that. Well, not right in front of it, but as I'm in that direction still. Do they both turn towards me?
Yeah, they're both looking at you.
I say the word.
Okay. All right. And
I shut the door and lock it.
Both make charisma saves.
If that didn't work, I was just gonna point over your shoulder and start screaming, "Mirror David!"
Just checking.
This is our
So
worst plan yet.
Here's something interesting that happens here. They're both looking, and you say the word, nothing happens.
Interesting.
You're not sure why, but for some reason it didn't work on them in that moment.
I'm
Due to the luck of the gods.
I am saying random words in Elven as I walk back and forward.
Like, that was weird.
Sorry, it's just an old thinking habit of mine.
They're just watching you at this point.
I just look at Den and shrug slightly.
I look over their shoulders. I start pointing at the mirror, and my eyes go really wide, and I just start going, Is that the captain? I think he's trying to get out!"
Make a performance check.
Eight.
Okay, hold on. Let me roll for them. Okay, they both rolled really low. They both go, huh?
Screw it, I try again.
Do it again!
Just as I'm saying words, I just say the command word for it again.
Okay. This time they both look over their shoulders, and as they look, there's like a and then and they're both gone.
You're filling up those cells really quickly.
How many do we have?
3.
How many total?
Do we know how many cells we have, or is it?
12.
12. Oh,
12.
we're fine.
We've only filled the quarter of them up within, what, less than a week of having this?
I can't believe that worked. That should not have worked.
Neither can I. We should probably go find Lil to make sure her plan's working.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Lil, what is your plan? What were you doing?
Oh god. Okay. Since I'm the only one who knows this plan, what are the other 2 guards doing when I come out of the room?
They're currently helping the crew, like they're helping around the ship in any way they can to help sail faster.
Okay. Yes. Okay, even though are they near the edge, or are they like just doing something? I don't know.
I mean, they're occasionally going near the edges, yes.
Okay. Here we go. This is going to be so bad, guys. Save me if this fails. So as I kind of watch them going, as one gets kind of near the edge, I want to kind of quickly walk over in my little itty bitty legs and fake trip on something and slam into one of them. Like on a rope or something that's doing. That's what I want to try and do.
You're trying to push him overboard at the same time, like pretending like you're not trying to. Okay.
And like actually using the trip, if I can do it, to like give me more momentum to kind of shove them over.
Okay, so this is going to be a performance/shove attack.
Oh god, here we go.
So first I need you to make a performance check.
Any disadvantage, or am I okay?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Okay, cool. Normal. Here we go, guys. 16.
All right, and then the for the shove attack, you just make an athletics check.
16.
All right. Okay, you get a disadvantage on it because it's like you're sort of surprising him, I guess, a little bit. Okay. All right, yeah, you walk over to the over towards the ship. You kind of trip and go, oh, and you go lunging forward, and as you lunge towards him, you shove, and it gets knocked. So you time this, knocked over to the edge of the ship, and kind of you hear a as he goes falling into the water. The other guard, now the last one on the ship, on this plane of existence, wheels around. What happened? And he goes running over to the edge and looks over and says,
Can I shove him?
Yes, go ahead and make another athletics check.
Okay, here we go. 20, not natural. Like, I just want to shove him because I'm so short, in like the back of the legs that like make him buckle his legs and go over.
He comes running past you, having seen your convincing performance, goes to the edge, looks over and says, "What? Are you okay?" And gets pushed off the side of the ship and goes, "Ah!" And then also falls in the water. As both of them are now like just holding themselves up, just treading water there as the ship goes past. And the funniest part of that is the performance was so convincing that as one comes up, looks around, "You okay? Keep going! We'll be fine! Get there as fast as you can! Save the captain!"
I'm freaking crying. What is happening?
Guys, we are ridiculous.
Perfectly.
This is the perfect plan.
As the performance was convincing enough to get them to both believe that they've been accidentally shoved off the ship. Oh man!
Not a life was taken. Go us!
Yeah, they're all still alive.
That you know of. The As you sail forward, the cries that you see the two other Stalwart Keepers pull themselves to shore, and you crest up the river. All the crew kind of turns to each other as Den and Star emerge from the other room.
Well, on to phase 2.
It's fine. We're good. Yeah, we're good. They're gone.
We're great. They're good. Look, they're over there.
There are some traps in an alternate reality. We'll deal with that later, but
They're fine though. It didn't
don't
hurt.
break the mirror.
At which
no
point
one
you can
touched
hear
the mirror.
you hear a goosh, goosh, goosh as a Warforged comes walking up the steps and looks over. I think they fell for it.
Lil jumps and tries to give Freeman a high five because he got it.
Goosh. Yeah, high fives. That was a pun, right?
The best pun.
A pun.
Good job,
Good.
buddy.
Good. And he turns back around. Goosh, goosh, and walks back down the
Can
steps.
someone get me after this horrible plate? It's really uncomfortable. I do not know how you do this.
I'll help him unfasten the breastplate.
Right.
My face hurts, guys.
I can't believe any of that worked, let alone all of it.
Oh my
We
gosh.
are just
Yeah,
killing
got through.
And as you get out of your armor and the ship makes it forward, everyone just sort of dumbfounded. Those of you that go into the room with the mirror, you can see occasionally as you walk past reflections of Stalwart Keeper armored wearing individuals in the mirror, kind of trying to look out and like yelling and waving, but it just as you catch it at weird angles, but you don't hear any sound, and they're not going to escape.
We'll let them out later. We should cover that and also lock the door and not let anyone in here. Not that anyone should be in here. Can you shits all get out of my room, please?
It's like there are 12 people gathered in here looking at the mirror. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, and they begin to like make their way out of the
My stuff is
room.
in here.
And now you have a haunted mirror. Congratulations.
I sort of love it. This is great. We should cover it just in case.
It's a little bit creepy as well.
Yeah.
throw a sheet over it.
Oh, now it's even creepier.
Not just like a ghost hanging from the wall.
Yeah. That's.
Don't say the numbers 1, 2, or 3. Well, don't say.
And suddenly,
Well, we're in it.
3 appear.
Well, we had like left.
12.
We left and we locked the door. I locked
Okay.
the door because it's my room. Everyone, get out of my stuff.
Okay.
We'll leave and lock the door.
Okay. You leave and everything sort of goes back as tension sort of resumes after all of that, those shenanigans. And as the ship sails its way into the evening towards the north, following towards Lytton Alrion, eventually you crest around the bend to a point where you can see the city up ahead. You see on the northern side of the river to your left, the shining capital of Evrandal sitting at the edge of the Silver Moon River. The walls of the city you see form a semicircle at the edge of it, just miles and miles ahead, that abuts the flow of the water. Along the outskirts of the city, you see all around it, there are densely packed 2-story homes for commoners, rows of shops, a dense urban population. However, as you crest closer, the lights of the city coming on as the torches are lit and evening takes form, you notice that the city itself misses any sort of notable central structure. You don't notice a castle or any other main central building to the city that you'd see in so many larger metropolises that you've been to previously. But nonetheless, from your distance, you can tell there are numerous noble manors and sprawling gardens within its walled interior. And then as you continue cresting around the bend, as the foliage and some of the hillsides pull away, you see the cathedral too, along the right. at the polar opposite of where the city stands. The cathedral itself spans a size nearly half of the size of Lytton Alrion, a city of its own. You see its walls are a silvery gray stone, polished and perfect. The structure in the late evening light glistens with platinum lattice work and white gold statues depicting each of the 6 gods, the paramount convergence. The cathedral appears an immense structure with towers stretching upwards hundreds of feet. However, around the edges, you can see smaller chapels, each one devoted to the 6 scattered around it, this massive and imposing structure. And at the top of the pinnacles of the buildings, you can see the flags of the faith flying, with the flags of the Stalwart Keepers flying above them. And that's where we'll go ahead and call our session here for today, as you all make your approach towards Lytton Alrion and the Cathedral of the 6.
Oh my god, that worked. That worked.
Well,
Yes.
guys,
See, it was the perfect plan all along.
that
We
was
planned for everything. It going wrong halfway through, panicking, coming up with the worst possible solution.
And then it working.
It's
works
like we've done this
every time.
before.
So, yeah, we'll pick this up next week and see where this goes from here.
That was bananas.
Who knows? You guys avoided a lot of combat situations in that episode. Well done.
Ooh.
So yeah, I guess we'll pick that up next week. Hopefully, we'll have most of the crew here. I know Sarah will not be here. We will.
Tawi.
Yeah, but we should have our Sadel and Lucius back at that point too, I believe. Cool. So we'll pick that up, and then I think the week after that, go ahead and tease our Halloween session. I think we are
Yes.
doing that following weekend, the first weekend in November.
Yay.
Kids.
3 spoopy, 5 us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there'll be some surprises in that game. But we'll be playing on both those weeks. So
Yeah.
come out and watch us play. All right. Savannah, you want to take us out?
Yeah, we got lots of great stuff going on over here on Survivors Complex. We've got awesome art made by our awesome artist friends. If you like our character art, which you can see down there below our faces, and sometimes on our tokens when we do battle and don't just shove all of our enemies into magic haunted mirrors. Julie, our wonderful artist friend, made all of those for us. We love her. We love her art. If you want to know more about her art, contact us on Twitter. We can put you in touch with her. Commissions and everything, as well as our awesome friend Katarina, who made Sean's really fun DM art that we have down there below his face. So yeah, contact us on Twitter if you want to know more about their commissions and their art and things like that. Overlays. We've got overlays. If you like our overlays, or you need overlays, or you want some cool stuff like we have, Sarah made those for us. She also makes all of our overlays for Wild Space and Wonderworld, which are super fun. So contact her on Twitter if you want to know more about that kind of thing, get some cool overlays for your home game stream, whatever it is that you have. She would love to talk to you about that, or so I assume. Our maps, which we didn't really see today, but we have them, they're awesome. You've seen them before if you've been hanging out with us for the past 25 sessions. Sean makes all our maps on Incarnate, which is awesome, a free map blah 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 blah. What's wrong with me? Map making software that you can use, make fun maps for all of your fun games, things like that. All of our awesome music that we love is from Incomptech, royalty free. They've got all kinds of great fun stuff on there. There's fantasy and there's space and there's sound effects. There's all kinds of great music, royalty free. Get it for your own streams and home games, things like that. Thank you to our friends that hosted us today. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you to all of our viewers out there, especially those of you that have stuck around for 25 sessions, which is a lot. I didn't realize it was 25 until today, but that's awesome. Thanks for watching and hanging out with us in chat. We really like interacting with you guys and things like that. And thanks to our subscribers out there that we have now. We love you guys. You're awesome. If you want more excellent gaming content, like this, what we just did here, with fun dragons and mirrors and dungeons and pushing people overboard off pirate ships, you can follow us, Survivors Complex, on Twitter at Survivor Complex without the S, and also at YouPickGaming on Twitter for fun tweets, so you'll know when we're going to be playing and when we're going to be having new content and doing giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff like that, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/YouPickGaming, where you can watch all of our fun games and laugh along with us, and sometimes cry along with us too. Again, you can also like us here and subscribe now on Twitch, get a custom emote, get access to our Discord server, where we talk about all kinds of fun stuff, and we have pictures of our pets in there sometimes, and we play video games together, and we talk about D&D and all kinds of fun stuff that we love. So subscribe to the channel and come hang out with us. We would love to hang out with you.
All right, that all we got
For today.
All right.
I'll come up with more stuff if you want.
No, I think we're good. So yeah, we will be back on Monday for Wild Space, so come check us out there. But otherwise, Survivors Complex will be back next Saturday. Excited to see how this goes. Thank everybody for coming out, and until next time, good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet.